Sister Yun. Good morning. Gu Xingyi looked at Sister Yun, who was more energetic than before, and greeted her with a smile. Xia Shiyao went forward and pulled Sister Yun's hand. The two of them leaned in and sat down together. In front of Sister Yun, Xia Shiyao was always like a little kid. Compared to when she first met Sister Yun, she was much younger, even some of her white hair was dyed black, and the smile on her face was also much more. Everything was going in the right direction, and that was good. Mr. Gu Shiyao. Good morning. I have something to tell you. Tianmei Entertainment's diva, Mu Baiwei, has been urgently called back to China. It's already on the hot search. Shengshi Entertainment's Heavenly King, Xi Hua, also appeared at the Shengshi Entertainment building this morning. There are also some other entertainment companies' top-tier singers who have basically dropped what they're doing and should be fully preparing for China's strongest voice. Xi Hua and Mu Baiwei, these two were legitimate red heavenly kings and queens, the existence of a long time dominating the charts before, and even more so, they had a huge fan base. Although during this year, one of the two was busy making a movie, and the other ran away to participate in a tour abroad, and there was much less talk about the two of them online, but no one dared to doubt the influence of the two in the slightest. Just like now, the two just showed up and hit the hot searches. Their strength is evident. Now that the two had suddenly returned and appeared in their respective entertainment companies, coupled with the high-profile appearances of some of the other first-tier singers from the entertainment companies, it instantly gave people a feeling of a mountain rain. Anyone with a discerning eye knew that this situation represented that the veteran powerhouses of the entertainment industry were going to make a move against Star Yao Entertainment. In response, the internet also showed a polarized trend, with fans from both sides disagreeing with each other, and before the two main parties could start their match, netizens took the lead in the bickering. Although Xia Shiyao is good, my Weiwei's wife is better. Unconditionally support Weiwei's wife. I admit that Mu Baiwei is very strong. But don't forget, we have Xingyao. Xingyao is invincible. Let me just ask, is there a single capable fighter in the lyric world? Where have you put my Qi Hua? Don't forget that besides being a singer, Hua is also a lyricist. Is it my Qi Hua who can't move his sword, or is it your Xingyao who has drifted away? In terms of personal strength alone, I think that apart from Gu Xingyi, Xingyao Entertainment really doesn't have a fight on their side. Honestly, heavenly kings and queens, they really aren't blown out of proportion. As a fan of Starry Yao, I can only say, cheers Starry Yao. Starry Yao fan +1, no matter what. I'll support him. Don't forget about those first-tier singers from other companies. They aren't vegetarians either. Who else does Starry Yao Entertainment have besides Xia Shiyao? It's hard. Starry Yao Entertainment wants to change the status quo of the entertainment industry by itself. It's really hard. The entire northwestern part of Jin was in chaos, and the great power of the entertainment industry was completely set off from this moment onwards. In Star Yao Entertainment, Gu Xingyi listened to Sister Yun's narration, but there was no change in the expression on his face. Quite a kind of he is strong let him be strong. The clear wind brushes the hillock posture. He looked at Sister Yun and laughed. This is only interesting. Before those, a can fight or not, just like that Weiwei, not pure to make a joke. In the face of this change, Gu Xingyi was really not afraid. With the original world's heritage added, he instead looked forward to some strong opponents. The collision of the two worlds' cultures, exactly what kind of sparks could be created, he was quite looking forward to it. After that, Gu Xingyi summoned all of the company's artists together for the first meeting since the creation of Xingyao Entertainment, and the content of this meeting was only a song held in each person's hand. One person, one song. Dumbfounded everyone dry. They held the song in their hands and quietly watched, and the more they looked on, the wider their eyes became. This heck, it's a treasure. When they looked up again, they looked at Gu Xingyi with a different look, a look that looked like they wanted to eat Gu Xingyi alive. Especially Heavenly King Lu Ruoying, and Shui Xiaoqian, when they looked at the song in their hands, their entire brains were buzzing, this song, as if it was tailor-made for them. Lu Ruoying's hands were trembling as she held the song manuscript paper, and there were already tears in her eyes. This OU she took was something she had only seen in her dreams. It was the song she wanted with all her heart. She believed that this time, with this song alone, she would leap to become a diva, and a popular diva at that. Lu Ruoying raised her head and looked at Gu Xingyi in a daze, just like the others. Gu. Mr. Gu, is this really for me? Of course. Gu Xingyi nodded seriously, seeing Lu Ruoying's appearance. His heart was actually overwhelmed with emotion. The existence of singing and crying countless people back then, in this world, only Lu Ruoying was worthy of this song. He looked at a few other people again and said with a sincere face, "You guys don't worry about singing. The company will have the copyright already registered. As long as you guys are in the company for one day, I wouldn't dare to say anything else. There won't be any shortage of songs exclusively belonging to you guys in the future." Hearing Gu Xingyi's words, everyone nodded, and all of a sudden, they felt that the song script paper in their hands was a little heavier. This was Gu Xingyi's trust in them. For the first song, to come up with such a good song for them, and a song that fit them incredibly well, this was Gu Xingyi's pattern. For Gu Xingyi's trust, they had to practice the song to the best as well. The meeting ended, and all of them didn't speak, but instead held the manuscript paper in their hands over their hearts and entered their respective recording studios full of excitement. Gu Xingyi looked at their backs and let out a long sigh of relief. The storm clouds would rise, and the Chinese music scene would vibrate with the appearance of these people. Amidst the boundless anticipation of all the netizens, and the attention of all the entertainment companies, November 22nd, Friday, the third installment of China's Strongest Voice finally arrived. This phase of the competition, the tickets had long been sold out, and the tickets in the hands of scalpers were even speculated to sky-high prices, but even so, there were still countless people clamoring to buy them. In front of the Magic City Stadium, before 8 o'clock in the evening, there was already a sea of people. No matter if they had a ticket or not, they all crowded here. They knew that this time the competition was too extraordinary. Everyone from Star Yao Entertainment rushed over this time, even Gu Xingyi, after putting little Nai Nai to bed, rushed over. Unlike the netizens who were worried, they were all confident at the moment, not for any reason, just because of Gu Xingyi's song. Just who would actually get to sing on stage tonight was still an unknown. Because Gu Xingyi said, according to the scene challenger and then decide who will go on stage first, the other side out of the move, he took the move, he wants to be in the same field, to beat the opponent. And in Tianmei Entertainment, the video conference had long been opened, and they were also discussing, the first game, who in the end would be the first to fight. The discussion came to an end, and in the end, it was Lu Gao who tapped the board to make the decision. Since we've already decided to crush Gu Xingyi, then for the first match, let our company's Mu Baiwei go on. Give Star Yao Entertainment a kick in the pants. A diva, let's see what he, Gu Xingyi, can take. At 8 o'clock in the evening, China's Strongest Voice officially opened. This time, even the Huayin side was paying attention to this competition. They even placed the time for this main event at the top of the 3 rings, which meant that the first ring match would be Star Yao Entertainment's match. As all the spectators entered and took their seats, the door of the Magic City Stadium slowly closed, and the entire arena was plunged into darkness at this moment. However, at the next moment, the words China's Strongest Voice lit up in the air, and the opening music also started, and between the starlight, the atmosphere in the entire arena was like a dream. All the audience let out a cheer in unison at this time. This different opening let all the audience understand that after this match, it must be wonderful to the extreme. This also made many of the viewers who hadn't bought tickets regret it, and they could only watch the feast from within the live broadcast. At the end of the stage, amidst the starlight, at this time, a silhouette slowly walked in, and the moment this silhouette appeared, it triggered a mountainous cry. Wei Wei! Wei Wei! The audience in the live broadcast room was even more shocked to see the visitor, not expecting Tianmei Entertainment to light up the trump card in the first game. Diva Mu Baiwei appeared on stage. Walking onto the stage, Diva Mu Baiwei, in a white dress, was like a fairy descending to the mortal world. She waved to the audience at the scene, her pretty cheeks holding a faint smile, especially her pair of peach blossom eyes like water, even more eye-catching. At 30 years of age, she could charm the crowd with these eyes alone. Wei Wei! Wei Wei! The audience under the stage went crazy, and the shouts became even more enthusiastic. It was only when Mu Baiwei gently placed her finger on her mouth and shushed that the audience quieted down. Once the diva appeared on stage, the atmosphere of the scene heated up significantly, and even the viewers in the online broadcast room were in awe. This is the diva. This influence, what a statement. Wei Wei's wife is so beautiful. Love, love, love. To be honest, Xia Shiyao is a match for Mu Baiwei. Unfortunately, one is married with a baby. One unmarried. It's not comparable. But Xia Shiyao's husband is Gu Xingyi. Hey, I like both of them. If it were another person, it might not be comparable. Married or not, let's not talk about it. Strength represents everything. Xia Shiyao is still a bit young compared to Mu Baiwei. The time of her debut is different. If we give Xia Shiyao more time, she should be the next diva. I really don't know how to lose when Mu Baiwei is on the stage. Compare and contrast. On Star Yao Entertainment's side, it seems like there's no one who can fight. No more talk, no more talk. Listen to the song. My Wei Wei's wife, hey. Seeing Mu Baiwei's influence, even Gu Xingyi, who was still backstage, couldn't help but look sideways. Sure enough, a diva is a diva. Regardless of which world they were in, the dominance of a heavenly king and heavenly queen was unquestionably strong. However, a diva is a diva. Although Star Yao Entertainment didn't have one right now, he had someone who was only one step away from being a diva. Gu Xingyi believed that just tonight, Xingyou Entertainment would give birth to a popular diva. Sister Ruoying. This match, you're on. Gu Xingyi smiled and looked towards Lu Ruoying, who froze for a moment before nodding with a firm gaze. Good. This side of Xingyou Entertainment's candidate had already been finalized, and on the stage, Bai Wei blinked her pretty peach blossom eyes, instantly drawing another round of hoots from the audience. On the big screen, her song for tonight was also displayed. Memories. As soon as the slightly sad music started, the audience instantly quieted down and closed their eyes, following the melody of the music into their memories. This was a lyrical and sad music, and on the stage, Mu Baiwei also adjusted her emotions and entered into the state, a pair of eyes that were flooded with a trace of sadness. I see pity. Stories and memories, fading away. The figure in my memories is slowly becoming clearer. The one in the memories, he's still standing in the breeze. Is the wind too gentle, or is the wind too sharp? I turn around, it turns out to be the memories that remain the same. Mu Baiwei sang softly, all the audience along with the song, have fallen into their own share of memories, a memories kill, so that everyone's mood is inexplicably melancholy. Yes, time is in a hurry, many people, many things, have become memories. The Star Yao Entertainment crowd in the background also silently closed their eyes at this time, quietly listening to this beautiful but slightly sad song. Especially Gu Xingyi, he couldn't help but nod his head the moment the song started. He had to admit at this moment that he had underestimated the music scene in this world before, and now that he heard Mu Baiwei's song, he knew that it wasn't that there weren't any good songs, but that the people who had sung good songs before weren't there. Those who sang good songs had either become famous and gone to explore another field, or had been sent out by their companies to work for the capital. Now after his bombing, those capitals had to bring out these powerful singers again. But Gu Xingyi wasn't afraid. What made him confident were the songs of the original world, and these singers around him, with these people around, with these songs around, he himself was invincible. Mu Baiwei finished the song, whether it is the live audience, or the audience in the live broadcast room, many have abruptly tears. In addition to the reason why the song had moved them, there was also the reason why Mu Baiwei had appeared. Don't know from when, the music world began to change flavor, these people are not there, the group of demons began to dance, they are also disappointed to the extreme. It wasn't until Gu Xingyi appeared that the Chinese music scene allowed them to see a glimmer of hope again. But today, one of Mu Baiwei's recollections let them know that the music scene they were familiar with had returned, that era of the gods and goddesses had returned. Regardless of whether we win or lose the match tonight, I feel that I already have no regrets. Yeah, this gives me hope again. It's back. That era, with memories, it's all back. Thank you Starry Yao, letting us enjoy this feast once again. This is what the Chinese music scene should be like. Yes, win or lose, it's worth it. I don't know what kind of song Xingyao will bring us, I believe in him. Even if his opponent is Mu Baiwei, he'll definitely be able to bring us a surprise. The audience was thrilled as a similar pop-up screen spread across the entire live broadcast room. Mu Baiwei sang the entire song and took a deep breath, which soothed her emotions back from the song. She then bowed to the audience below the stage who were frantically waving their fluorescent sticks, and slowly retreated off the stage and walked towards the backstage. As for Lu Ruoying, she was already waiting at the back of the stage, and as soon as Mu Baiwei stepped off the stage, she saw her waiting. The two women looked at each other, and Mu Baiwei's eyes clearly carried a look of surprise. Ruoying? You joined Star Yao Entertainment? Lu Ruoying nodded with a light smile on her face. Yes. You haven't been in the country for the past year, so you probably don't know yet, Gu Xingyi is really a great lyricist and a great boss. Mu Baiwei looked slightly stunned. She had known Lu Ruoying for many years, and it was the first time she had heard Lu Ruoying praise someone so much. Alright, I won't chat with you much longer, it's my turn to go on. Ah, good, go for it. The stage lights in front had already lit up again. Lu Ruoying quickly walked onto the stage after saying another sentence. Only then did Mu Baiwei return to her senses and agreed before turning around to look at Lu Ruoying's back. She and Lu Ruoying debut time is similar. She naturally know, Lu Ruoying, just missing an opportunity, will be able to enter the ranks of the diva. After being urgently called back to her country this time, she also roughly understood what happened, and for Gu Xingyi as a person, she was both curious and admiring. Such a talented person deserved anyone's admiration. Unfortunately, Tianmei Entertainment had known her well, and that was the reason why she remained at Tianmei Entertainment after becoming a diva. Regardless of how Lu Gao was personally, Tianmei Entertainment had been helping her since she was nothing, giving her all sorts of resources to get her to where she was today, and she wasn't a person who knew how to repay favors. And the status quo of the entertainment industry, she naturally also knows, but this kind of thing, she can't change anything. Moreover, who is not from this status quo kill out. Therefore, there is no right or wrong, only the times are changing. Gu Xingyi's appearance is also not a turning point in the changing times. Since he dares to stand out, he must have enough ability to challenge everything. Mu Baiwei had always seen these things very clearly. Wow! Lu Ruoying, who slowly walked onto the stage, just showed up and drew a gasp of surprise from the scene. How could the audience not expect that the person who was guarding the ring for Star Yao Entertainment was actually her? Not only did the audience not expect it, even in the conference room of Tianmei Entertainment at this moment, all of them were quiet at this instant. The smiles on their faces just abruptly froze, looking at the person who appeared on the big screen with a face full of disbelief. Lu Ruoying, the singer who was on par with Mu Baiwei back then. If it wasn't for the fact that she hadn't been able to find that song that belonged to her, she could have become a diva a long time ago. Especially Lu Gao, at this moment, his hand holding the teacup was trembling. No one knew more about how powerful Lu Ruoying was than him, the chairman of Tianmei Entertainment. Back then, in order for Mu Baiwei to overpower her, Tianmei Entertainment had spent a large amount of money to hire countless lyricists and composers before finally succeeding in obtaining a satisfactory song that would propel Mu Baiwei up to the position of Heavenly Empress. But now, Lu Ruoying was on the stage again, and this time, she had the bonus of that monster Guxingyi. Lu Gaoguang couldn't help but shiver at the thought. He who had just felt that he had a sure victory, at this moment, his heart was completely flustered. On the live stage, Lu Ruoying was wearing a white shirt printed with gardenia petals, paired with a light blue pleated skirt, and as she stood like this, she captured the hearts of a large number of audience members. The light smile on her face made people feel warm just by seeing it. In the official live broadcast room, the pop-ups that were just talking about Mu Baiwei violently stagnated, followed by a screen full of question marks hitting the screen, and then, it was a flood of exclamations, everyone getting even more excited at this moment. Lu Ruoying ah! Brothers! That era! It's really back! It's back! It's all back! Ha 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 ha! Lu Ruoying! Mu Baiwei! My God! At this moment, I no longer know what words to use to express the feelings in my heart. Those who came from that era should be in tears right now. Xingyao Nubizi, my godly mile. The gods are fighting. Lu Ruoying actually joined Star Yao Entertainment. I can't even think about it. Brothers, I'm really looking forward to the competition later on. Facing the enthusiastic audience, Lu Ruoying was in a trance. She hadn't stood on stage like this for a long time. In these 2 years, she had been searching for that song, and now, she had finally found it. The music also sounded at this time. The audience at the scene stopped cheering at this instant, and quietly listened. Above the stage, on the big screen, the title of the song was revealed. Later, accompanied by the music, Lu Ruoying took a deep breath and picked up the microphone. 3, 2, 1. Later, I finally learned how to love. It's a pity that you're long gone, disappeared in the sea of people. Later on, I finally realized in tears. There are some people. Once you miss them, they're gone. Just a short pre-song, it moved countless viewers to tears. That familiar sound of 3, 2, 1. How long has it been since they heard it? Some people are gone once you miss them. The audience had 1,000 words inside them at the moment, but there was no way to tell them. The previous song, Memories, and this song, Later, made everyone's hearts break into pieces. They hadn't seen them for a long, long time, and it was so good to see them again. And at this moment, Lu Ruoying was also full of hot tears. This song was written to her heart. It was also her dream love song. She suddenly felt that it was enough to have this song in her life. She slowly opened her mouth and continued to sing. The atmosphere of the scene at this moment had returned to the time when she had just become famous. The audience waved the fluorescent sticks in their hands, and just swayed their bodies along with the singer. Gardenia, white petals, fall on my blue pleated skirt. Love you, you whisper. I lowered my head and smelled a fragrance. That eternal night, the night you kissed me in midsummer at 17. I'll always think of that starry night when I'm feeling sad. Hearing this, the audience was in a trance. The title of the song was obviously Later, but the lyrics were all about the past. Listening to Later, remembering the past. In everyone's mind, there was nothing else but the song floating around, taking them, witnessing the beauty of their youth. If Mu Baiwei's memories is to bring people into the memories of sentimental, and then turn back, those memories have become empty, leaving only a faint sadness. Then Lu Ruoying's song Later is the past in front of people's eyes, quietly recounting the beauty of that time, and then talk about later, finally learn to love, but people are no longer there. Tear crash. Tonight, this is a pig-killing game. Melody as a knife, lyrics as a blade, a knife and a blade, tear-jerking, knife hit the audience's vitals. Even Guxingyi, who took out Later, had tears in his eyes at the moment. When I first heard it, I didn't know the meaning of the song, but when I heard it again, I was already a person in the song. Goodbye Later. Goodbye to Later. A different world, the same feelings. The original world of Lu Ruoying, singing Later scene he can no longer see, but this world, he saw again. The sparks from the collision of the two worlds just exploded in front of his eyes, opening up a bright and dazzling auditory feast. Thank you big brother Shi Renchang. Thank you Tamashiro Chiharu. Thank you sister Ruoying. Guxingyi silently chanted in his heart. These three people were the lyricists and composers and singers of Later. On the stage, Lu Ruoying had been thoroughly immersed in the song, and she sang softly under her breath as she swayed her body gently to the melody in unison with the audience under the stage. The love at that time, why could it be that simple? And why is it that when people are young, they must let the one they love deeply get hurt? In this similar late night, are you the same? You're quietly regretting your sorrows. If only we had been less stubborn. We wouldn't be so sorry now. At this point, all the audience could no longer hold back. They stood up from their seats, covered their chests with their hands, no longer able to suppress the throbbing in their hearts, holding back their tears, staring blankly at Lu Ruoying on the stage. On the stage, one of her songs later evoked the once upon a time in the hearts of all the audience. Once upon a time, if he and she can be good, now, is not, there will not be so many regrets. If life is only like the first time you see it, why is the autumn wind sad painting fan? The tune gradually rose again at this time. Lu Ruoying stretched out her hand, like she wanted to retain something. How do you remember me? With a smile or very silent? All these years. Has anyone been able to keep you from being lonely? Later. As soon as the word later rang out, it was as if it wasn't the first time all the viewers had heard this song, and they couldn't help but sing along. Even the viewers in the live broadcast room, who were either in front of the TV or holding their cell phones, they couldn't help but hum along. It was clearly just a match, but it seemed to have turned into Lu Ruoying's solo concert. 10,000 people chorus. The audience had obviously only heard it once, and hadn't even finished listening to it yet, but they could already skillfully follow her on stage and hum out. Seeing this scene, all of the contestants were moved. They were inwardly envious and incredibly happy for Lu Ruoying. This kind of pomp and circumstance was a scene they could only dream of. It was also what they had been seeking all their lives. Which singer could not expect to have a song like this, to have a glorious moment like this once? The 10,000-person chorus resounded throughout the entire arena, and there were no more regrets tonight. Later. I finally learned how to love. Unfortunately, you're long gone, disappeared in the sea of people. And then, I finally realized in my tears. There are some people. Once you miss them, they're gone. In the conference room of Tianmei Entertainment, at this moment, the atmosphere had already dropped to the freezing point. The crowd looked at Lu Gao's slightly ashen face, one by one. They didn't even dare to take a breath. In the entire room, nowadays, only on the big screen, the sound of that 10,000 people's chorus was still ringing out. Lu Gao looked at the scene on the screen with his eyes lifeless. It seemed like there was no other song that could make the competition look like this, except for Gu Xingyi's song. Lu Dong, it's just a match, don't be so concerned. We already know Gu Xingyi's talent, and our strategy isn't based on this match alone, so calm your mind. Moreover, the winner is still undecided now, isn't it? It's not like Mu Baiwei doesn't have a chance. Her song is equally not bad. In the end, it was Tian Xingqi who spoke with a calm face. If he didn't clearly know Gu Xingyi's talent, he wouldn't have been able to just let Gu Xingyi take someone away so easily last time. Lu Gao took a long breath. He had to say that he was really a bit intimidated. He had already repeatedly raised Gu Xingyi's position in his heart, but, as it turned out, he had still underestimated him. He had thought that it would be a crushing game, but it was dissolved by Gu Xingyi's immobility. Alright, let's wait for the results. If Mu Baiwei loses, we'll discuss who to put on the court for the next 2 matches. At this time, the live chorus at the Magic City Stadium had already ended, leaving only the audience waving their little hands after the melody, their eyes gazing deeply at Lu Ruoying on the stage, who had already abruptly burst into tears. Lu Ruoying has been touched to the point of no return. As a singer, can see this scene on the stage, this life has no regrets. The music was still playing. Lu Ruoying tried to soothe the fluttering in her heart, tried to pull a warm smile from her face, and with the music, continued to sing the ending. Never again. There's a boy in love with that girl. As the music came to an end, the applause from the stage was instantly like thunder, and the audience's cries and screams instantly resounded throughout the entire arena. Lu Ruoying held the microphone in her hand and bowed deeply. Thank you everyone. After saying that, she looked up, organized herself, and slowly walked off the stage amidst the cheers of the audience. Coming backstage, Mu Baiwei didn't leave, but looked at Lu Ruoying with a complicated face for a moment before saying, "Congratulations, Ruoying. After tonight, you will be a diva as well." Lu Ruoying was still in a mood that hadn't completely come out of the song at this point, and she wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes. Wei, I finally found this song. Coming to Star Yao Entertainment, meeting Gu Xingyi, and then only until now, I realized that, as it turns out, everything is destined. As she spoke, the smile on Lu Ruoying's face grew more and more prevalent, as bright as a flower. Destiny, this song, has been waiting for me here. Luckily I didn't give up. Hearing Lu Ruoying's words, Mu Baiwei couldn't stop her expression from freezing for a moment, and just a moment later, she lightly bit her lower lip, some curiosity showing in her eyes. She hadn't seen Gu Xingyi before, and had only spoken from other people's mouths, only seeing it on the internet. It seemed that all the people who talked about Gu Xingyi, whether they were his enemies or his friends, the first thing they affirmed was his talent. And today, she had also heard the song later with her own ears, and had sort of witnessed his talent with her own eyes. This made Mu Baiwei more and more curious about Gu Xingyi. This man, what kind of person was he to be able to convince everyone? Alright, Wei, the people from the company are still waiting for me. I'll go over first. When we have time, we'll talk again. Lu Ruoying was now a little impatient to see those people in the company. wanting to share the current joy with them, wanting to say thank you to Gu Xingyi in person. Good, go now, then we'll talk some other day. Mu Baiwei retrieved her mind and nodded, then watched as Lu Ruoying jogged all the way back to the room where Xingyou Entertainment was located. And at this moment, the online voting was also in full swing. Countless netizens were numb at this time, not knowing who to vote for, hand on heart, hand on back or all meet up. Mu Baiwei they like, Lu Ruoying they like the same. A group of scummy men and women, looking at the two names on the vote selection button, only to feel left and right difficult. On the blog, in various entertainment groups, anyway, as long as it is a place where they can communicate, all of them are places where netizens are discussing, even in the official live broadcasting room, countless netizens are indecisive there. Families. What to do? I'm a fan of Mu Baiwei. But, I like Lu Ruoying's later too much. Ugh. Same feeling I look around with my sword drawn and my heart is confused. Memories and later, I like both. Iowa official dad, why don't you just chop me in half? I wouldn't have to worry so much. Sinful animal. Don't get lost yet. Don't break the Taoist heart of the laborer. It's over, my hand shook and I voted for Lu Ruoying. Oh Weiwei, I'm sorry. Just like that, within the limited time, the audience finally gritted their teeth and made their choices, casting the precious vote that belonged to them. The Huayin officials, too, were quickly counting this number of valid votes. In the end, the results of the match finally appeared, and when everyone saw the voting results, they froze for a moment, and then the next moment, in the live broadcast room, the pop-up screen filled the screen. I announced that the new Heavenly Empress is born at this moment. Diva Lu Ruoying. True to her name. Countless similar pop-ups brushed the screen, and what was even more outrageous was that just 2 minutes before the voting results appeared, on the Weibo, the reports from various media outlets scrambled to be sent out. Shocked. China's strongest voice shocked the most awesome scene in history. 10,000 people sang in chorus. Click on the full text for more details. Invincible. The former goddess, Lu Ruoying, defeated the Queen of Heaven, Mu Baiwei. She has successfully ascended to the throne of the Queen of Heaven. Outrageous. Tianmei Entertainment is undefeated. Star Yao is the final winner. All kinds of eye-catching headlines were rampant on all the major platforms. The media that had disappeared for a long time finally reappeared. The moment Lu Ruoying won, all the media saw clearly that the rise of Xingyou Entertainment had been unstoppable. They hadn't reported on Star Yao Entertainment for a long time, all because the entire entertainment industry was pressuring them. The media had endured for so long, and finally at this moment, they completely realized that the era of the Big Three might have to change. From the time Gu Xingyi appeared, the status of the Big Three had been shaken, and their dominance was getting weaker by the day, until the end of this match, Xingyou Entertainment and the diva ascended to the throne. The situation in the entertainment industry was becoming clearer and clearer. Thus, the media stopped giving face to Tianmei Entertainment and finally stood up to them. At this time, in the room where Xingyou Entertainment was located, Gu Xingyi also saw that final result, and his heart instantly relaxed. So dangerous. There was only a difference of 2 votes. Lu Ruoying ended up winning by an extremely small margin. But this will do. Star Yao Entertainment, thus, the first diva was born. Lost. In the conference room of Tianmei Entertainment, Lu Gao shook his head, his face full of resignation. It was only a difference of 2 votes, but unfortunately, Mu Baiwei still lost, and even though he was prepared to lose before, he was still very upset when he saw this number of votes. Tell us all, who to put on the stage next. Now that the results were set, Lu Gao quickly organized himself and said lightly. The heads of the various entertainment companies looked at each other in dismay. With this match, who should be sent on next? Mu Baiwei had lost. The original intention to give Star Yao Entertainment a downward spiral hadn't materialized. Instead, Lu Ruoying had managed to be promoted to become a diva. It was really enough of a slap in the face. Now there were only 2 choices, either continue to send out the heavenly kings and use strength to speak, or only let the cannon fodder on. Fighting a war of attrition. In today's situation, I'm afraid that putting Qi Hua on is just futile. We don't know where Gu Xingyi's bottom card is. Tian Xingqi also had a bit of a headache, before continuing. In that case, let's let the others go up to explore the bottom first. Consume Gu Xingyi's talent. With my understanding of him, as long as we come up with an original new song, he's bound to come up with an original new song as well. Moreover, his reputation does not allow him to come up with songs that are not up to par, so it's still the same thing. I don't believe his talent will be endless. After Tian Xingqi finished speaking, many people still looked at each other in disbelief. They didn't know what to say. Could Gu Xingyi's talent really be exhausted? Such a question could not help but well up in all of their hearts. It was really because Gu Xingyi was too perverse. From the time he appeared, every single one of his songs had been so good. How many fine songs had he produced up until now? This made everyone's hearts bottomless. But nowadays, they could only treat a dead horse as a living horse, because apart from the war of attrition, they didn't have any other better methods. Tiandong, then what do you say? who should be on the next game? We'll all listen to you. A company head said with a helpless face. No matter who they put on in the next match, they would probably be sprayed by the netizens. After all, the one match they had just played had made them have high expectations for the next match, and if they didn't continue this level of performance, they would definitely be sprayed to death. Ha! I know what you guys are worried about. How about this? Let our company's Gia go on the next match. She's just a third-line singer. Get her an original song and let her go to the top of the thunder, with her as a cushion. The first-line singers that you guys go on after that won't be scolded too much. Once Tian Xingqi's words were finished, all the company heads breathed a sigh of relief. In their company, first-tier singers were their golden goosebumps, and they were truly unwilling to let their company's first-tier singers go to the top of the thunder. Just like this, Shangshi Entertainment Building, Gia, who was still watching the program in the lounge, suddenly received a notification, and then she was invited by the company to the Magic City Stadium in a state of confusion. In the Magic City Stadium right now, the other two ring matches were going on, only that the number of people paying attention was obviously much less. The audience was still all reminiscing about the song later and looking forward to Star Yao Entertainment's next match. It wasn't until she arrived backstage at the Magic City Stadium that Gia reacted to the fact that this was to let her go up to compete. Her face instantly became unsightly. The toadstools she had been wearing on that face were all askew with anger. She had also watched the match and naturally knew what the last match was like. That was equivalent to a match between two divas. To have her on now, wasn't it just purely giving away food? What's more, with this song in her hands, she hadn't even practiced it, so if she was allowed to sing it now, it would surely flop. Exasperated, Gia hurriedly called Ma Liang, but the result made her almost drop her cell phone. This dog man. Surprisingly, he turned off his phone at this time. When he was in bed earlier, he still swore that he would let himself go further. And this is the result? At this time, the results of the other two rings were out, and the match, once again, came to the ring where Star Yao Entertainment was located. The cheers of the audience rose again, and they were all looking forward to who would challenge Star Yao Entertainment this time, and what kind of auditory feast it would bring to them. Backstage, Gia could only close her eyes, take a deep breath, and then walk towards the stage with her legs trembling. By now, she also understood that this was the decision of the company's upper echelons, and she didn't have any ability to change it. The lights fell on the stage, accompanied by the high cheers of the audience. Gia had already stepped onto the stage, and when she opened her eyes, she almost burst into tears when she saw the pairs of expectant eyes of the audience. Mama! It was too intimidating. If it was really her own concert, to have so many people, so enthusiastic, she would be very happy and joyful. But, this was a competition. And she, an outcast. Seeing the enthusiastic audience under the stage, she broke down a little, and a monstrous hatred surged up in her heart. She knew that from today onwards, she was completely finished. The seed of hatred was planted in the bottom of her heart. Gia's eyes were lifeless, and she picked up the microphone. The music also sounded at this time, and then the sound of her stuttering singing rang out. Under the stage, the audience who were still looking forward to it froze, and then the whole audience erupted in a burst of boo. Inside the official live broadcast room, countless people had even transformed into keyboard warriors and started spraying. I'll be damned. Once you opened your mouth, you scared me. You're the devil, right? Why do you have the courage to stand on the stage? Force-feeding shit? Shit. Thanks to that, I thought the era of godly fighting had returned. The moment I opened my mouth, I almost died in place. It's not even close. My ears. I can't do it anymore. I should wash my ears. The voice is okay. It's just, you're not even ready, are you? What's wrong with showbiz? What's with this? I can't listen to this at all. Brothers. I'm going to love my girlfriend first. I'll be back in 3 minutes when Star Yao Entertainment comes on. Brothers. Wake up. You won't last 3 minutes. The pop-ups were mocking as much as they could, and the scene was booing continuously. But on the stage, Gia was still singing as if she had already lost her soul, and at this moment, her heart had already died. Backstage, when the Star Yao Entertainment crowd saw this scene, they were all slightly stunned. Is this swinging for the fences? Gu Xingyi's eyebrows were furrowed. He didn't even think that those entertainment companies could be so shameless. Moreover, wasn't this purely ruining someone's future? Miao Anjuan looked at Gia on the stage and couldn't help but sigh. In her, it was as if she saw what would happen to her if she continued to stay in Shangshi Entertainment. This is capital A, always an existence that eats people without spitting out bones. After the song was finished, in a sea of abuse and noise, Gia walked off the stage expressionlessly. Gu Xingyi's eyes narrowed at this moment. He felt that those people acting like this were completely insulting the singer. Insulting the music. Miao Anjuan, you're on this one. Let them see what music is really like, and what the attitude towards music has to be. Good. Miao Anqian nodded and stepped towards the stage. The moment she brushed shoulders with Gia was expressionless. Miao Anjuan was equally expressionless. They didn't even bother to look at each other. But both of their hearts, at this moment, beat violently at the same time. Brothers, I'm back. Hasn't anyone from Star Yao Entertainment come on stage yet? Upstairs, you haven't even gotten to 3 minutes yet? 3 minutes or whatever doesn't matter. It's time to gather. It's time to gather. I wonder what song Star Yao Entertainment will come up with. Come on up. Alas. Speaking of Star Yao, I miss my little princess Star Yao. It's been a long time since I've seen our little baby. Coming. Miao Ankuan? She joined Star Yao Entertainment too? My god. She's given up the ghost. That's so great. In the midst of everyone's anticipation, Miao and Jiayun walked slowly onto the stage, while also drawing a burst of gasps from the crowd. This was very Star Yao Entertainment. It always brought them different surprises every time. At the back of the stage, Jia, who hadn't left yet, couldn't help but feel her heart clench as she heard a burst of shouts from the scene. She finally stared back and looked at the stage. At this moment, Miao Anjuan, who was only wearing simple casual clothes, was so elegant in her eyes, especially the strong confidence in Miao Anjuan's body, which caused a trance in front of her eyes. Jia withdrew her gaze, not daring to look again. She was afraid that the light on her body would pierce her heart. Originally, she was just as full of longing for the future, just as full of respect for the stage, just as full of sincerity for the songs. But I don't know when everything changed. After seeing the power of capital, her original heart changed, from the passion for singing to do whatever it takes to climb up the ladder, doing whatever it takes. In the end, it was surprising to end up in this situation. On the stage, the music had already started, that beautiful music. Just by listening to the prelude, Jia knew that it was another good song. Only, now everything has nothing to do with her. After this time, the music world, there will be no place for her. Jia took off the toadstools on her face, 2 lines of tears slowly flowed down from her eyes, and after a moment, she put her glasses back on, raised her head, and with a determination on her face that she had never had before, she turned around and walked out. On the stage, Miao Anjuan's heart was equally unsettled. Just now when she brushed past Jia, she remembered the time when the two of them had just debuted. At that time, the Jia she knew was still the same as her, a little girl with a bright smile on her face, with the same level of love for songs as her. But now, the two were heading in different directions. The showbiz world, this big dye-stuff tank, could really make people turn out to be completely different. The music sounded, Miao Anjuan came back to her senses, her eyes became more determined. Nowadays, she was also considered to have walked out from that big dike. It was her luck to have met Xia Shiyao, to have met Gu Xingyi, and to have met Xingyao Entertainment. She also had to sing every song afterward to return them. On the big screen of the stage, the title of the song was already visible. It was still an original new song, still produced by Xingyao. The audience had already waved the glow sticks in their hands along with the music, and some of them even began to sway their bodies along with the music. Their faces all hung with anticipation as they looked at Miao Anjuan on the stage. The song started. I can't believe I didn't turn around, the cruelest moment. I watched you walk away quietly, not like me at all. It turns out that people can become gentle, because they understand thoroughly. Love is flowing, not by people. Why get excited about reasons? As Miao Anqian sang softly, the audience's faces became more and more enjoyable. This is the right thing to do. This is proper singing. What was that before? It's true that you should listen to Star Yao's songs, whether it's in terms of melody, lyrics, or the singer. Star Yao Entertainment has done the best. A good song needs the right person to sing it, or it will be ruined. The reason why singers were famous was because they were the only ones who could express the song in the best possible way. Just like at this moment, when Miao Anjuan opened her mouth, she conquered the audience on stage. If Jia's appearance on stage was a performance accident, then Miao Anjuan was taking on the aura that the previous two divas had brought with them perfectly. As for Gu Xingyi backstage, at this moment, looking at Miao Ankuan on stage, listening to this song, beginning to understand, he couldn't help but nod his head. Miao Anjuan had sung this song very well. Begin to understand, the original singer Yanzi's sister, before many people, said that this is a cold song, but many people have forgotten when the concert can cause 10,000 people to sing the song, and how can it be a cold song? Miao Anjuan on the stage, still singing, and all the audience, at this time, has also been brought into the song. Believe you're just afraid of hurting me, not lying to me. Loved very much who would give up. Shook my dream awake, declared happiness, not coming back. Forgiven with a heartbreaking smile, and tumbled over. It's still good to have yesterday, but tomorrow is my own. I'm starting to understand. Happiness is a choice. A song began to understand, and let everyone understand. It turns out, tonight is really a night to kill the pig. The price of understanding is a lifetime of lingering pain. Only those who understand, know what the song is singing. I love you very much. Who will be willing to give up? But, can't catch, can never catch, in the end, can only smile and let go. The live song continues, and everyone does not know is that at this moment, Jia has contacted the media, contacted the police, provided some evidence. Jia knows that her future is gone. Since it is gone, she wants to go crazy one last time before this. Consider it as atonement for the choices she has made over the years. Jia knew that if these things broke out, she would be even more doomed, but she didn't regret it, and she was going to pull Shangshi Entertainment's back. This was what Shangshi Entertainment owed her. The media were stunned for a moment after receiving the news, especially when they received the photos and documents from Jia. They were even more shocked beyond words. Big news, ah! In the first instance, they rushed to where Jia was. Jia had already taken off her toadstools, her face was flat, and she sat in the room she had prepared until all the media had arrived. Then she slowly opened her mouth. Since you're all here, then I'll start speaking. As you can see, some of the top management of Shangshi Entertainment, especially director Ma Liang, they used their positions to subvert. Jia said. The media didn't dare to relax for a moment to record, so the cameras were all aimed at Jia. That one personal name that came out from her mouth could be the famous and prestigious existence in the entertainment industry. Not only subterfuge, but also misappropriation of public funds, tax evasion, and other kinds of revelations. These things, so that the media record of the hands are trembling, until finally the police arrived, will be Jia take away. The media only took a deep breath, unbelievable looking at the hands of the record, as well as those photos, documents, and videos. They didn't know if the others were true or false for the time being, but the item of subterfuge was a certainty. Because, in the video that Jia gave them, it clearly recorded all the unsavory activities that director Ma Liang of Shangshi Entertainment had with her. A big event in the entertainment industry. This time, Shangshi Entertainment was really going to be skinned down. After the police left, the media also left quickly. They have to rush to report things out. All this, it's all valuable traffic. The media were still on their way back to the company. In Shangshi Entertainment, Tian Xingqi's secretary then hurriedly pushed open the office door and walked in. Tian Xingqi, who was in the middle of a video conference, frowned and raised his head, looking suspiciously at the anxious-looking secretary, and in the next second, the secretary whispered in his ear. Tian Xingqi's face suddenly changed drastically, and he said sorry to the heads of the families in the video, then he was busy hanging up the video. Say that again? Jia? How did she dare with this kind of thing? Tian Xingqi, who hung up the video, stared at the secretary in front of him with wide eyes in disbelief. Tian Dong, it's true, just now a cooperating reporter has already sent a message to confirm. I'm afraid that in less than 10 minutes, all the media will report it. Moreover, Jia has already been taken away by the police. The secretary confirmed again, and handed the document from the reporter in his hand to Tian Xingqi. Tian Xingqi gripped the document and anxiously read it. Only the more he read on, the worse his face became. How could he not expect that this woman would be so crazy? In the end, Tian Xingqi underestimated Jia's vengefulness, and did not expect Jia's revenge to come so fast, so decisive. She could even disregard her own reputation and innocence, to make this kind of fish death net thing. After reading all the documents, Tian Xingqi's fingers tapped on the table without any regularity, and a moment later, a trace of ruthlessness appeared in his eyes. Nowadays, the only plan was to abandon the car and minimize the loss. Subterfuge, this kind of thing is not a big problem. We'll have the influence of the person dismissed, and then spend money on the matter is good. The consequences will only be the company's reputation will be a substantial decline, but tax evasion and a series of things. He must abandon the car to protect the marshal, so that these people on the list will be the mouth piped tightly. Thinking of this, Tian Xingqi immediately made a countermeasure. Notify down, everyone conference room gather for a meeting. The secretary nodded and left quickly, leaving only Tian Xingqi, still pondering the countermeasures in detail in his office. In the Magic City Stadium, the match was still continuing, as Miao Anjuan finished her song and slowly left the stage amidst the audience's warm applause. The result of this match, there was no suspense. Miao Anqilan won the match with an overwhelming vote advantage, and most of the netizens felt that it was simply too unreasonable to categorize Miao Anjuan as a third-tier star. With just this one song, beginning to understand, she had to be at least a second-tier. It was even possible to sprint to the position of a first-tier singer. As soon as this topic came up, the internet suddenly discussed how many lines of singers Xia Shirya was considered to be, and the entire wind direction of the pop-up screen began to shift. I read that the internet is still positioning Xia Shirya as a third-line singer. Just outrageous. On a third-tier singer releasing an album that dominates the top 10 of the new songs chart. If you ask me, Xia Shirya is a wireless singer, huh? There's a Gu Xingyi behind her. She can come up with a song at any time, and it's possible that her next song will directly put her on top of the diva position. Diva isn't that easy. At least have a 10,000 person concert. Just like Lu Ruoying, Mu Baiwei, which one of them hasn't had a few concerts? It can only be said that the strength has been achieved, but the resume is not enough. So, it's still a wireless singer. Which line is not suitable? Ha ha. The netizens were still discussing such things, when the third match of the ring had begun. In this match, The challenging contestant came from a medium-sized entertainment company, a first-tier singer who brought the same original new song. However, this first-tier singer was much more stable, at least he came on the stage only when he was ready, and his own popularity was good, so the audience bought it without dropping the ball. At the end of the song, he bowed and thanked the audience and left the stage decisively. In fact, he knew in his heart that he was cannon fodder. As expected, along with the cheers of the entire audience, Star Yao Entertainment, Xia Shuriyao once again appeared on stage. Still original, still a new song, the audience was already somewhat immune to Gu Xingyi's talent, as if it was supposed to be like this, but their enthusiasm didn't fall in the slightest. The whole venue was shouting Xingyao and Xia Shuriyao's names, and it was only when the music started that the scene gradually quieted down. The song that Xia Shuriyao brought was still mainlining one of tonight's Killjoy styles. It was still a sentimental and lyrical song, and on the big screen, the title of the song, Can I Hold You, slowly appeared. It's raining outside, as if my heart's blood is dripping. I've loved you for so long. It's not easy to do the math. It's time to split things up, no more relationship tomorrow. Leave the clothes at home, come back to take them back when you have time. Weigh-ins backstage, the ratings of this match, more than doubled the previous two installments, and now the most comments on the internet is that the tickets for this installment, it's worth it to buy. Regardless of whether it was the two divas in front, or Miao Anjuan and Xia Shuriyao in the back, or even that first-tier singer, the new songs they brought were all top-notch. And they sang them perfectly and satisfied all the audience. At this moment, the last song of this last match, the audience cherished it immensely. They all hated to let Xia Shuriyao sing this song all the way through, and this phase of the match never broke up. Unfortunately, there is a time to gather and a time to fall apart. The audience hadn't heard enough, Xia Shuriyao's song had already come to an end. Can I hug you? Lover. Let me cry on your shoulder. If we have to part today, let me cry out in pain. And you have no choice, I'll leave with a smile on my face. The music fell, the lights fell, and along with Smiley's departure, Xia Shuriyao bowed and exited the stage, while the audience, however, couldn't smile at all. The match was over, and their hearts were taken away. The moment the lights dimmed, everyone's hearts were empty. At this point, no one cared about the result of the match anymore, because everyone knew that Star Yao Entertainment had won hemp. The three phases of the competition were over, and ever since Xia Shuriyao won the first phase of the competition with her song Alaskan Gulf, Star Yao Entertainment hadn't lost a single match. Today's points, Star Yao Entertainment had also gained 5 points, while Tianmei Entertainment only had 2 points. Even if it was a war of attrition, Tianmei Entertainment would only be able to fight back in the 6th installment of the tournament, and if they lost again in the 6th installment, they would be completely disqualified, and they would also lose this year's Triple Giant title. There wasn't much time left for Tianmei Entertainment, but Tianmei Entertainment didn't make any statement. No one knew what Lu Gao was thinking. The third installment of China's Strongest Voice was officially announced to be over and everyone left the stage. The viewers who weren't overjoyed turned to the Douyin and Weibo, which at this time was covered in videos of these new songs. Netizens watched these videos and listened to the songs, and suddenly had a feeling of dreaming back to the old days, the days of the gods and goddesses fighting. But now this time, although it could also be said that it was a fight between the immortals, but these immortals, basically all of them came from Star Yao Entertainment. Lu Ruoying, Xia Shuriyao, Miao Ankuan, and even Feng Xiao and Shuihens floating toward the north were all turned out, and aside from Mu Baiwei, all of them were from Star Yao Entertainment. China's Strongest Voice had been hardened into an internal chaos by Star Yao Entertainment. And just as the netizens were still immersed in these songs, a video interview from the media was rapidly fermenting on the internet at the moment. These videos, with a swift momentum, quickly made their way onto the hot searches. Most of the netizens were still happily brushing the videos of those new songs that came out today, but as they swiped and swiped, they suddenly swiped to the videos released by these media outlets. Then, the entire net was in an uproar. Shit. Such a big melon. Don't code it. Let me take a closer look. Shengshi Entertainment has also collapsed. Are you kidding me? What kind of era is this, and they're still playing Subterfuge? This mosaic is a real head-scratcher. It's great. There are even stars I liked before who are being submerged. To hell with it. She has always been an innocent jade girl in front of the screen. It's so dark. This is the entertainment industry. Jia broke the news? She's too miserable, right? Being submerged and being thrown out as cannon fodder. Shengshi Entertainment is brain dead. Indeed. Jia is really a bit pathetic. Upstairs, the poor must have something to hate. Before that was all her own choice. As the media went down, with the likes and retweets of one video after another, on the hot search list, it was all about this melon in an instant. Subterfuge, everyone abhorred things, did not expect, now clearly in front of the eyes of the netizens, Shengshi Entertainment official around the blog, instantly by the netizens rushed rotten. Most of the people, they came with the purpose of watching the show, and some of them, they have been cursing Ma Liang and some other exposed executives, because their favorite idol, is the object that was submerged this time. At this moment, Gu Xingyi and the others were already driving on the road back to Jiangchang. They naturally saw the videos, and they, who were also singers, were sighing when they saw such a thing. The water in the entertainment circle is too muddy, these things, there have always been. I just didn't expect that Jia would burst out like this exposure, her future is completely gone. Feng Xiaoxiao said with infinite emotion, he had always lived at the bottom before, and naturally heard a lot of these things. Miao Ankuan also sighed silently in her heart. In this environment of the entertainment industry, how many can really stick to their hearts? Holy shit! You guys quickly look! There's another breaking news! And the official actually went down. Yi Xuehan, who had been swiping the video, suddenly opened his mouth and exclaimed with his cell phone. The crowd was busy looking at their phones again, and one by one, the more they looked at it, the more wonderful the look on their faces became. This is really big melon. On Douyin and Weibo, just as the netizens were still vocalizing about these things about Shengshi Entertainment's subterfuge, some mainstream official media even came out to report on the situation. This made the netizens even more angry, so it was not only subterfuge, but also tax evasion and a series of other problems. Although Shengshi Entertainment came out to urgently clarify that the relevant people involved had been arrested and they would fully cooperate, but this still couldn't stop the netizens' anger. You're one of the big three, such a big company, so many people have committed crimes, you would not know? In just less than 2 hours, Shengshi Entertainment's reputation had dropped to the most freezing point, and even Shengshi Entertainment's stock price was shrinking drastically. But the scariest thing wasn't just the netizens' denunciation, the scariest thing was that the officials came down. A major overhaul of the entertainment industry. When this news came out, all the other entertainment companies except for Star Yao Entertainment were dumbfounded. Who doesn't have some cats and dogs? This is great, the official dad came down to rectify the situation. It's really killing me. As time passed in this endless stream of news, the internet was still buzzing with excitement, but the entertainment industry had an unprecedented earthquake. Officials came down to investigate one by one. For a while, everyone in the entertainment company was in danger, no longer able to care about such things as embracing the warmth of the group. Except for Star Yao Entertainment, which was calm and quiet, all the other entertainment companies, big or small, exploded with some melons. This also allowed many investors and sponsors to see the new situation in the entertainment industry, and also allowed them to see the potential of Star Yao Entertainment. If they were worried that these entertainment companies would join forces to apply pressure before, now, they were completely unafraid. After all, right now, these entertainment companies were all like a clay bodhisattva, unable to protect themselves, so how could they still care about them? By the time these entertainment companies recovered, their cooperation with Star Yao Entertainment would have been finalized long ago. As a result, investors and sponsors of all sizes contacted Star Yao Entertainment at the first opportunity. In response, Gu Xingyi was painfully happy. He somewhat regretted not listening to Yang Lin's advice and finding a junior secretary for himself. Because the company had not yet been formed, the staffing was not yet in place, and he was the only one who could make a decision for the entire company. This also led to Gu Xingyi this time busy 2 feet, either on the way to talk about cooperation, is on the way to sign the contract, and these cooperation, he has to review one by one. Some cannot be picked up, all do not pick up, slightly problematic, but also directly rejected. The entire Star Yao Entertainment, also busy, they each have their own duties, run circulars, do publicity, now, surprisingly, before the busiest Yang Lin, into the most leisure of the existence of that. 4 days have passed since the third installment of China's Strongest Voice, November 26, Tuesday noon. In the office of the chairman of Star Yao Entertainment, Xia Shiyao was carrying a hot meal, placing it on the table, looking at Gu Xingyi, who was still looking at the documents, with a heartbroken expression. It's time for lunch, you should find an assistant as soon as possible, it's not a solution to keep doing things yourself like this. Gu Xingyi nodded and rubbed his temples on both sides again before putting down the documents in his hands. Well, Minister Yang is already trying to find, just look at the assistant, too little, I really don't know where you found your Taolulu in the first place, how come I can't meet such a small assistant? This also depends on fate, right? Xia Shiyao laughed a little, Lele is indeed very good, as well as Miao Anjuan's little assistant Ran, all are very good people. The two of them were eating and chatting, when Gu Xingyi's phone suddenly rang. Now he was annoyed when he heard the sound of the phone, but he sighed and put down his chopsticks to pick the phone up and look at it. The caller ID made him freeze, then he quickly picked up the phone. Hello? Mr. Su, may I ask what's up? Xia Shiyao, who heard Gu Xingyi say this, was also busy raising her head to look towards him. This call was actually from little Nai's teacher, Su Ling. Gu Xingyi listened to the call, his brows gradually furrowed, which made Xia Shiyao couldn't help but feel a little worried in her heart. Well, okay, Teacher Su, I know, I'll go over right now. After saying that, Gu Xingyi hung up the phone. What's wrong? Is something wrong with Nai? Xia Shuyao also put down her chopsticks and asked with a panicked look on her face. Nai Nai was her lifeblood. If something really happened to Nai Nai, she didn't even know what she would do. It's fine, don't worry, mister. Su called just to say that Nai Nai hasn't eaten much properly in the past 2 days. Seeing Xia Shuyao so flustered, Gu Xingyi hurriedly pacified her. Hearing Gu Xingyi's words, Xia Shuyao then put her lifted heart down, then frowned again. Nai Nai hadn't eaten properly in the past 2 days? This was something that had never happened before. Let's go over and take a look now. I'm a bit uneasy, and Teacher Su means the same thing, she's worried too. Gu Xingyi continued, and Xia Shuyao nodded. After saying that, the two of them didn't have the heart to continue eating. Covering up the lunchbox on the desk, the two of them quickly left the company and rushed towards the Jianghua kindergarten. At this moment in the Jianghua kindergarten, Su Ling was looking at Gu Xingyi at the dining table with her small head lowered in peace and quiet with a worried frown. Nowadays, Gu Xingyi and Xia Shuyao were as hot as ever, and it could be said that as long as one could surf the internet, basically no one in China did not recognize them. As their daughter, Gu Xingyi was the treasure of Jianghua kindergarten, and everyone loved this well-behaved little baby. But the last 2 days do not know what reason, this well-behaved little one unexpectedly do not eat properly. Anyhow she coaxed. The little one is only a symbolic 2 bites, and then lowered his head, quietly sitting there. No one knew what was going through her little head, but Su Ling vaguely felt that the problem should be with her parents. Gu Xingyi and Xia Shuyao hurriedly arrived, and from a distance, they saw the well-behaved little Nai Nai sitting there, while Su Ling accompanied her, still patiently coaxing her, while the other children, all of them had already finished their meals and started their lunch breaks. Su Lao Su, I'm sorry, my family Xingyao has really caused you trouble. As the two approached, Gu Xingyao took the lead in apologizing to Su Ling before squatting down and wrapping his hands around little Nai Nai to pick her up. Nai Nai, what's going on these past 2 days? Why didn't you listen to your teacher? Children who don't listen are bad children. Seeing the arrival of the two, little Nai Nai's big eyes obviously brightened for a moment, and after being picked up, she hugged Gu Xingyi's neck and didn't let go. Seeing her daughter safe and sound, Xia Shuyao also finally completely put down her heart. Then she wrinkled her good-looking eyebrows. The look in her eyes was obviously a bit angry. It's not in the way, this is all our duty, or I'm not capable of taking care of the child. Xingyao father, it's good that you guys are here. The child is usually very well behaved. It's just that in the past 2 days there might be something on her mind that she's not willing to talk to the teacher. So you guys communicate more. I'm going to go take care of the other children first. Su Ling was also relieved to see Gu Xingyi and the two of them, and said busily. In her opinion, small children's hearts hide things, mostly because of their parents. Many people think that small children do not need to communicate. In fact, it is not, because many small children will not correctly express the ideas in their hearts, which is why it is even more necessary for parents to guide them in a timely manner, and have good interactions with their children. Good, then Mr. Su, you go ahead and get busy, we will teach the child well. Xia Shuyao busily nodded her head and said, her face full of embarrassment. Su Ling nodded and left the cafeteria. Inside the school cafeteria, only a family of 3 remained. Gu Xingyi hugged little Nai Nai and sat down, looking at the meal on the table that had only been eaten in 2 bites, and gently asked again. Nai Nai, tell daddy, why don't you eat properly? Little Nai Nai pursed her lips and didn't speak, her hands still wrapped around Gu Xingyi's neck. Gu Xingyi couldn't help but smile when he saw this action of hers. This little look and Xia Shuyao were practically carved out of the same mold, as Xia Shuyao would also unconsciously purse her lips every time she had something on her mind. Why don't you eat? Before Gu Xingyi could continue speaking, Xia Shuyao opened her mouth. Her voice was rare and clear. It startled Gu Xingyi. He looked up and couldn't help but shrink his neck. This is a rare. Xia Shuyao angry, always feel unable to provoke the appearance. Little Nai Nai, who was nestled in Gu Xingyi's arms, also shrunk her head and buried her little face into Gu Xingyi's arms. But the next moment, the little one was picked up by Xia Shuyao. Gu Xingyi wanted to stop, but after being glanced at by her, she honestly sat down in the same place. Her heart still kept self-consoling. Parent-child strategy has a most important, is both parents, no matter which party in the education of children, the other party must not do the opposite. Little Nai Nai was carried out by Xia Shuyao from Gu Xingyi's arms, standing pitifully in front of the dining table. Her big eyes were already filled with water mist, and she was about to drop her golden peas, but Xia Shuyao still had a stern face. Why don't you eat properly? Have I ever told you? Wasting food is bad behavior. Hands out. As soon as Xia Shuyao's words left her mouth, little Nai Nai was so frightened that her tiny body trembled slightly, her tears finally slid down her cheeks, and her originally pursed little mouth deflated, and she sneaked a glance at her dad, Gu Xingyi. Gu Xingyi, on the other hand, is the eyes to watch the nose to watch the heart. Do not dare to meet with the baby daughter, although he is heartbroken to death, but also know that at this time cannot be contrary to Xia Shuyao. Seeing that daddy can't be relied on, little Nai Nai finally trembled and stretched out her little hand. In the next second, Xia Shuyao's slap landed on the little hand. The crisp sound made Gu Xingyi's heart tremble and his heart ache even more. This was the first time little Nai Nai had been hit by her mother, her deflated little mouth flattened even more, and her tears swished down even more. Eat first. Xiao Shiryao slapped a few times, then squatted down again, placing little Nai Nai on her small seat, ordering. Little Nai Nai finally picked up her own chopsticks, and under Xiao Shiryao's stern gaze, she picked up the rice in the bowl, and with tears in her eyes, she ate all the rice in no time. Only then did Gu Xingyi hurriedly take the little one into his arms, tenderly helping her wipe the tears from her face, patiently coaxing. Okay, after eating the meal mommy will not be angry. Come and tell daddy, why don't you eat properly these 2 days off? Because Nai Nai. I want mommy and daddy to spend more time with Nai Nai. Little Nai Nai was still sobbing, her fingers pinching the corner of her coat uneasily, her head lowered as she said somewhat timidly. Hearing the little one's words, Gu Xingyi froze for a moment. He seemed to understand. Little Nai Nai couldn't express herself, that's why she would use this way, to make herself and Xiao Shiryao pay more attention to her. It seemed like, since the company had gotten busy, they really hadn't taken care of the little one. These days, he and Xiao Shiryao always left early and returned late, only accompanying her for a short while in the morning when they sent their daughter to school, and at night when they put her to bed. Gu Xingyi fell into deep thought. He suddenly felt as if he was wrong, a little bit wrong. His intention of creating the company was so that Xiao Shiryao and little Nai Nai could live a better and happier life. But now, he was fully devoted to his work, completely contrary to his original intention. Xiao Shiryao also blamed herself somewhat. She bit her lip and looked towards Gu Xingyi. Gu Xingyi raised his head and locked eyes with her, then his entire body suddenly loosened up. He swept over Nai Nai's tiny body. This time, both mommy and daddy and Nai Nai were wrong. Mommy and daddy neglected Nai Nai's feelings, and Nai Nai shouldn't have told mommy and daddy in such a wrong way. Mommy and daddy apologize to Nai Nai now, but Nai Nai also need to apologize to teacher Sue and herself, okay? From now on, you are not allowed to not eat properly. Mommy and daddy will also stay by Nina's side more often. Got it. Little Nai Nai, whose little face was still buried in Gu Xingyi's arms and rubbing against him, said in a resigned manner. Xiao Shiryao also leaned over and squatted down to rub her little head. Daddy said that because daddy spoils Nai Nai, but Nai Nai has to know that not eating is wrong behavior no matter what the purpose is. Nai Nai won't next time. Mommy, don't talk about me. Little Nai Nai heard Xiao Shiryao's voice and sobbed again, deflating her little mouth and moving out of Gu Xingyi's arms, burrowing into Xiao Shiryao's arms again. Seeing that his little baby was about to drop her golden peas again, Gu Xingyi's heart ached, and he busily patted her back, and said to Xiao Shiryao, Okay, it's good that the little one knows, home is not a place for reasoning. It's about love, a hug is good. Yeah, mommy hug, don't be angry. Little Nai Nai's reply almost made Xiao Shiryao cry. She slightly reddened her eyes and hugged little Nai Nai hard. Just now hitting her those 2 times had actually broken her heart. The two of them stayed with little Nai Nai for a while longer, before giving her to Su Ling, and then watched as she apologized to Su Ling, and was led to the lounge by Su Ling for a nap. Gu Xingyi and Xiao Shiryao breathed a sigh of relief, and only after little Nai Nai fell asleep did they leave the kindergarten. Back at the company, Gu Xingyi had been thinking about how to maintain the balance between the company and the family, and thinking about it, he suddenly turned his head to look at Xiao Shiryao. Wife, isn't it Nai Nai's birthday in 2 days? Xiao Shiryao nodded. November 28th would be little Nai Nai's 4th birthday. Then we must give Nai Nai a good birthday this time. Gu Xingyi said, falling into contemplation again. Xiao Shiryao softly hummed. While her heart was a little sour, little Nai Nai would be 4 years old soon, but this was the first time she had a birthday. Still remember the little one's 3rd birthday. That day, she did not even eat the cake. The next 2 days returned to busy. Just after work, Gu Xingyi and Xiao Shiryao intentionally take more time to accompany the little one, although Gu Xingyi still has no assistant. But as long as it is time for little Nai Nai to get out of school, he will put off all cooperation. As for the personnel of Xingyo Entertainment, everyone's face was glowing with happiness in the past 2 days. They were always secretive in the past 2 days, preparing for all sorts of things. Until November 28th, Xiao Shiryao's signing concert was also held today. This time the number of participants in the signing concert was only 2,000 people. These people, all of them, were Xiao Shiryao's hardcore fans. They have several common small groups. Even Xiao Shiryao herself has joined the group. The name of the group was Xiao Shiryao Gu Xingyi Relatives Group. Upon learning that Xiao Shiryao was going to hold a signing concert, and that it would only be for them, several groups all exploded and bought tickets at the first opportunity. To be all excited to arrive in Jiangcheng, all the talents back, this signing was held at 8 o'clock in the evening. Some cannot resist the excitement of the fans have more than in the group discussion. They do not understand, why to be so late. In the end, it was the group owner Xiao Hong who strongly suppressed their agitation, which was able to calm down the storm. And Staryao Entertainment also rented the Jiangcheng Theater as a venue in advance, and everything was quietly waiting for the signing concert to be held. November 28th, 8 p.m., all the fans obtained the fan gift packs to enter. To their surprise, inside these gift packs, not only have Xiao Shiryao's album and signature, but also her family photo and signature. This makes the fans can't help but be ecstatic. This time it's really worth it. Not only can they see Xia Shiyao in person, there is also a full set of autographs. It's great. When all the fans entered the theater doors suddenly closed and the scene was plunged into darkness. Just as the fans were wondering when they turned on their cell phone lights, suddenly the music started, a cheerful music they had never heard before, followed by a tender and clear child's voice. The moment this childish voice rang out, everyone froze, and then they suddenly covered their chests and looked incredulously at the place where the childish voice came from. The fans felt as if they were dreaming. This was the voice of little baby Xingyao. Along with the child's voice coming from her, the spotlight suddenly appeared. Under the light was little Nai Nai, who was wearing a white cute tutu. Her little skirt was also embellished with small blooming flowers. Her head was even tied with two small grips, with two small delicate bows tied on top of it. She was like an elf left behind on Earth, just like this, breaking into the fans' line of sight, making all the fans feel their hearts were going to be adorable at this moment. This was too foul. Well, they wanted to rush up and carry her home. Little Nana swayed her body to the music, her cheerful song coming out of her mouth into everyone's ears. Happy pond planted in dreams become oceans. Bulging eyes, large mouth sings just as loud. Another spotlight suddenly hit, and Gu Xingyi, dressed in a proper suit, appeared under the light, his movements in unison with little Nai Nai's, the two of them swaying their bodies in the same frequency of rhythm. He followed up on Xiao Nai Nai's song and continued to sing. Lend me a pair of small wings and I'll be able to fly to the sun. I believe that a miracle is in the body. Then, in the stupefied and surprised gazes of the fans, Xia Shiyao also appeared with the fall of the spotlight, a family of three, whole, with bright smiles on their faces, shaking their bodies in unison. In the crowd, Xiao Hong, who was still dumbfounded, suddenly covered her mouth and cried tears of joy. As a fan, being able to see this scene, simply too much surprise, but also to over happiness. A family of three sang in unison. La 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 la. La 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 with you leapfrog. La 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 la. Growing up with confidence with you leapfrog. The fans who reacted to this scene wanted to cry. The surprise was too big, and the children's song, too awesome. They uniformly waved the cell phones in their hands. The cell phone lights turned into glow sticks at this moment, neatly waving them to the music, keeping in unison with the rhythm of the family of three swaying on the stage. Little Nai Nai sang again at this moment, and Gu Xingyi and Xia Shiyao chimed in for her, clapping and beating the rhythm. Happy a little frog, la 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 leapfrog. There's a little frog in a happy pond, yeah. He dances like he's possessed by a prince. Croak, 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 croak. No frog can match his cool eyes. One day he'll be awakened by the princess. Little Nana sang cheerfully while sitting in the action, and the atmosphere of the scene was always joyful and warm in one's heart. Immediately after, the family of three continued to sing in unison, and this time, even the fans couldn't help but follow along with the law. They simply loved this family of three to death. Gu Xingyi couldn't contain his smile. This unusual birthday party was decided after he and Xia Shiyao asked Nai Nai, because little Nai Nai said her birthday wish was that she wanted to be like her mom, standing on the stage, singing happy songs for people. Under Gu Xingyi's family's chorus of Little Jumping Frog, the scene completely turned into a sea of joy. This unique book signing was more than enough to make the fans completely satisfied. Especially some of the parents who brought their children to the signing, they were the happiest group. Originally they still didn't understand why Xia Shiyao made a special statement in the group that they could bring their family members. Now they finally understood. In Xia Shiyao's fan group, there were already many mommy fans of Xingyao's little baby, who fell in love with this little munchkin during Courageous Outburst, and even their children were just as much little fans of the little guy. Now that little Xingyao suddenly appeared on the scene, it was a completely unexpected surprise for them. When the three members of the family appeared neatly together, this surprise turned into happiness and emotion. What does it mean to spoil the fans with strength? This is Under the spotlight in front of her, little Nana's small body bounced forward a little step with the music and the la 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 sound of all the people at the scene. She picked up the microphone again and put one hand in front of her cheek. Her almond eyes were wide open, her mouth was open, and she was acting like a cute little frog. This adorable expression instantly caused the mom fans below to squeal, their eyes bubbling with stars, happily looking at this little munchkin near their eyes. The cheerful song continued to come out of little Nana's mouth. It's a little jumping frog, crossing the blue Atlantic. Jumps to the far east, jumps to us. Xia Shiyao also followed suit and jumped forward a step, standing beside little Nai Nai, also following little Nai Nai to put on the same adorable expression. This pair of mother and daughter's divine synchronization instantly made the hearts of the fans at the scene melt. This is simply too attractive. To the old life. Spring, summer, fall, and winter, we're the best of partners. Kissing her will become different. Adorable to the point of being foul, Xia Shiyao picked up little Nai Nai's song as she squatted down, picked up the little one and spun her around in the air before giving her a hard kiss on the little one's face. This bite made the fans drool with envy. They also wanted to kiss. What to do? Gu Xingyi also jumped forward at this time. Xia Shiyao has put down the little Nai Nai, the two people a person holding the little Nai Nai's a little hand, and shook up the body, once again la 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 sing. Until the song was finished, the fans were still immersed in the joy, when the three beams of spotlights instantly dimmed. Gu Xingyi kept the family of three holding hands, standing in place, and on the big screen at the back of the theater, a picture suddenly appeared, all of which were pictures of little Nai Nai, some happy and laughing, some sad and tearful. This sudden turn of events drew everyone's attention, and when the fans saw the photos of the aggrieved little Nai Nai, one by one, they couldn't wait to snatch little Nai Nai from the hands of the two Gu Xingyi. At this point, trying to knife a person's eyes could not be hidden. Especially the little one's mom fans, they can't help but feel the same thought in their hearts: if this were my baby, I could put it on my pants every day, and whoever dares to make her feel aggrieved will be chopped up. On the big screen, a line of subtitles also played out. Then all the fans realized, originally, today is the 4th birthday of Xingyao little baby. Just as the fans came to a realization, another music sounded, and two spotlights fell separately, once again turning the scene. This time, the ones who appeared were Tao Lele and Sister Yun, who were holding their respective doll gifts for little Nai Nai, and they shook the gifts in their hands as the same cheerful children's song sang out from their mouths. On the other side of the mountain, on the other side of the sea, there's a group of Smurfs. They're lively and smart, they're naughty and sensitive. They live freely in the green forest. They're kind and brave and care for each other. Dorothy and Yun had just finished singing when the music changed abruptly and another spotlight fell, overwhelming the crowd. This time it was Miao Anquan and Ran Xiaoxiao, who sang as well as they held their gifts. Crap crap crap, OMG, how did the magic malfunction? The sky is really big, blue dreams my home. Little girl worries are not afraid, colorful wings take me away. The fans went completely crazy. This is really very Gu Xingyi. A series of children's songs, and every song was different, and they were all new original songs that they hadn't heard before. Miao Anquan and Ran Xiaoxiao had just finished singing 2 lines when another spotlight fell and the music turned again. This time it was the duo of Feng Xiaoxiao and Yishuihan, also holding gifts, singing and dancing. Want a CD player, want an MP3, want ice cream, want Chinese currency, don't be greedy. Smart and brave and strong, I really envy myself. Hula hoops are no problem, backflip for 2 weeks and then salute. Everyone had a happy smile on their face at the moment. This wasn't a signing session anymore. This was a fun time belonging to their big family. The spotlight fell once again. This time it was Chen Feng. He carefully pushed a few layers of a huge cake, singing the happy birthday song under his breath as he slowly walked forward. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. In the next second, everyone from Star Yao Entertainment appeared with smiles on their faces, singing the birthday wishes song in unison as they slowly walked forward. The fans couldn't help but follow along and sing the birthday song at this moment as well. Over 2,000 people sang in unison, and the entire arena was filled with the same song. Little Nai Nai's 2 big eyes had completely curved up at this moment, and she happily shook her little head and clapped her little palms as she looked at these uncles and aunts who had suddenly appeared. This was her first birthday, and it was also the happiest she had ever been. Gu Xingyi and Xia Shiyao lifted her high in the air and sang the same birthday song until the song ended, all the lights dimmed, and Gu Xingyi's gentle voice came out. Nai Nai, make a wish and blow out the candles. Little Nai Nai closed her eyes and held her 2 little hands in front of her smiling face, not knowing what she wished for, only that on her little face, her smile grew brighter and brighter. This smile made everyone keep it in their minds. Especially Gu Xingyi and Xia Shiyao, both of their hands were trembling a little at the moment, so happy that they wanted to cry. He and Xia Shiyao hadn't had a birthday before because they were orphans, without a father or a mother. But now their daughter, Gu Xingyao, they managed to let her have such a wonderful childhood. At this moment in Gu Xingyi and Xia Shiyao's hearts, there was nothing that could be more precious than little Nai Nai's smiling face at this moment. Yay! As little Nai Nai blew out the 4 candles at the top of the cake in one breath, an ear-splitting cheer erupted from the scene. The lights also completely lit up at this time, and Gu Xingyi and Xia Shiyao hugged little Nai Nai into their arms, one of them giving her a firm kiss on the side of her face before saying loudly, Nai Nai! Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Starry Yao little baby! The fans at the scene, too, shouted at that moment. Little Nai Nai let out a silver bell-like laugh, at which point Gu Xingyi said loudly again, Eat the cake! As Gu Xingyi's words fell, many more staff members pushed large cakes and walked into the scene. These were all prepared for the fans. The act of spoiling the fans like this even made the scene burst into laughter. With songs to listen to, small sign gifts to take, and cakes to eat, every fan felt that their trip was really too meaningful. Returning home with a full load, that's what they were feeling at this moment. Star Yao Entertainment's crowd also offered their own gifts to Nai Nai at this time, and everyone received Nai Nai's sweet thank you sound when they gave the gifts, which made everyone happy. They gathered around and happily ate the cake, while little Nai Nai, after receiving the gifts, struggled down from Gu Xingyi's arms and played with the children who came to the scene. Those mom fans, carefully watching over the children, especially when they saw their own baby interacting with little Nai Nai, the look on their faces was even more excited than their own children. At that moment, little Nai Nai's eyes were suddenly caught by a little girl with the same small red face. This little girl did not play with the group like the other children, but instead, she grasped a man's calf and timidly looked over to this side. The little girl's eyes were filled with longing as she looked over at the children playing together. When little Nai Nai looked over, her eyes happened to meet hers, and she somewhat nervously shrunk her little head behind her father, not daring to meet little Nai Nai's eyes. Seeing this scene, little Nai Nai subconsciously pursed her lips, hesitated for a moment, picked up a piece of cupcake from the table, and headed towards the little girl. "Nah, here's your cake, it's sweet." Little Nene's sweet voice came. The little girl's body shook slightly. The man in front of her lowered his head, looked at little Nene who blinked her big round eyes, squatted down and rubbed the little girl's hair. "Nene, elder sister is treating you to cake. Don't go yet. Don't you like elder sister the most?" The little girl who was called Nene rubbed her small hands on the corner of her somewhat whitened coat, before she raised her head and looked timidly at little Nai Nai. "Sister, can I really eat it? Can I like Nene? I want to be friends with Nene and treat you to a cake." Little Nene revealed a smiling face and held out the cake in her hand. Not far away, Gu Xingyi, whose eyes had been on little Nai Nai, saw the scene and smiled heartily. He could tell from the man's and the little girl's whitewashed clothes that the man's family shouldn't be very well off, and after thinking about it for a moment, he walked over, similarly squatting his body and rubbing Nai Nai's little head. "Nai Nai, why don't you pull your sister along to play?" "Aha!" Little Nai Nai hummed and looked at Nene again with an expectant face. Nene looked at the sincere expression of little Nai Nai in front of her, and finally, with her father's encouragement, took the cake and held little Nai Nai's hand. Little Nene instantly had a big smile on her face, pulling Nene as she bounced toward the pile of children. "Thanks, little baby Xingyao, it's really nice." The two adults also stood up at that moment, looking together at their own precious daughter in the distance, the man taking the lead and speaking in admiration. "You too, I can tell that Nene is also very kind. By the way, how old is Nene?" 3 years old, a little bit younger than Xingyao. Ever since she saw little Xingyao on her cell phone, she has always liked and loved her. Since then, I've been following your Weibo, Douyin, and added the group, and I also hope that one day, I can allow my child to be able to see her favorite young lady with her own eyes. The man said, looking towards his daughter who was playing in the distance being held by little Nana's hand, his eyes already slightly red. "This time when I came here, I originally wanted to plead with you after the signing session to be able to let the children meet, but I didn't expect that I would see them now." Hearing the man say this, Gu Xingyi knew that this was a man with a story. And little Nene, for sure, was very, very fond of little Nai Nai, and as a father, this was why the man had resolutely come to the signing session with his children just because of a dream that was likely not to come true. "Right, haven't introduced myself yet. Hello, my name is Gu Xingyi." Gu Xingyi didn't take the liberty of asking, but said with a smile. The man was also amused by Gu Xingyi's self-introduction. If he didn't know that he was Gu Xingyi, then wouldn't he be a proper fake fan? "Hello, my name is Runywon. Follow the wind and float heaven and earth Runnywu? Good name. You should be older than me, so I'll call you Brother Easy." "I don't know, Brother Easy, what kind of work do you do?" "I'm 30 this year, I'm indeed older than you. I'm currently working as a security guard." For Gu Xingyi's exit, Run Easy froze for a moment. This guy is worthy of being a divine lyricist. He comes with his mouth open. "Security guard?" Gu Xingyi nodded as he looked at Ren Yuyao's slightly lanky figure. This body, it was more than enough to be a bodyguard. "Right, I was born as a soldier. After I was discharged down, I learned business administration for a while, and then entered a media company. Unfortunately, my character was born not able to eat this bowl of rice, and I saw some bad things managed, so I was dismissed, and then because of my daughter's reasons, I became a security guard." Although he was dismissed, but Rin said generously, his expression was calm, looking in the direction of his daughter's eyes, but revealed some warmth. Upon hearing Ren Yuyao say this, Gu Xingyi didn't immediately answer, but similarly looked in the direction of the two little darlings and pondered for a while before opening his mouth again. "Business administration? I wonder if old Brother Easy can come to our Star Yao Entertainment to give it a try. We are short of people here. Moreover, we are still short of some company security personnel, and we have not been able to find any suitable personnel. I wonder if old Brother Easy has any suitable people to recommend for me?" Easy froze again for a moment, then turned his head to look at Gu Xingyi. "Are you serious? Of course, it's a real lack of people, and I'm not someone who likes to bend the rules. Let's put it this way, see that big beautiful woman over there? It's our company's personnel minister. If you have the will, you can discuss with her to find time for an interview." Gu Xingyi nodded naturally, and looked at Yang Lin's position again, nuzzled her mouth, and then said to Ren Yueni. Ren Yuyao took a serious look at Gu Xingyi, then looked at Yang Jialin, thinking for a long time, and it wasn't until Xiao Nai led Nini this way that he spoke. "Okay, I'll give it a try. As for the security staff, I have some friends who are ex-military and can ask for you." "Thanks." Gu Xingyi laughed before welcoming little Nai and Nini. picking up the two little munchkins left and right. "Nai, Nini, are you having fun? Happy?" the two little munchkins said in unison, with bright smiles on their faces. This scene, will Rini look at the eyes cannot stop another red, he has forgotten, Nene has not laughed so heartfelt for a long time. He stood still for another moment to think, before resolutely walking in Yang Lin's direction. From Gu Xingyi's body, he could sense that Xingyao Entertainment, for sure, would be a good place to call home. Gu Xingyi watched as Ren walked over to Yang Jinlin, said a few words to her, and took her business card from Yang Jinlin before he turned his gaze back. As for whether or not Runyiwu could get an interview afterward, it was not for him to decide. He had never interfered in this aspect of personnel. Just like Starry Yao Animation, although it was titled under Starry Yao Entertainment, since Gu Xingyi had given Chen Feng the animation script and funds, he had never asked about it. He believed in their professionalism, so he, as an amateur, didn't get too involved. After a while of fooling around, the signing session came to a successful conclusion, and little Nai-Nai's birthday came to a close amidst a sea of blessings from the fans. The fans all left the venue in an orderly manner with joyful faces. Today was really a full day for them. On the internet today, as one entertainment company was officially down for a thorough investigation, they were much more honest. Basically, after this round of rectification, every company had hurt some vitality. After almost a week of settling down, the netizens were not as enthusiastic as they were before, except that they would argue a bit after brushing up on which celebrity was in trouble. On the whole, no matter whether it was the entertainment circle or the internet, the heat slowly dropped, and the netizens slowly returned to calm. But just as the netizens were bored in swiping through the videos, suddenly, a video broke into their eyes, with a caption that was clearly written by one of Xingyao's mom fans. "My little Xingyao. So cute." The netizens who saw this caption were all puzzled by a brain. Was there something going on here that they didn't know about? So they clicked on the video. Within a short time, every netizen who saw the video red-eyed, gasping for air and furious, ran to Gu Xingyi and Xia Shiyao's Roundup blog and spewed furiously. "Just this? That's it? Are you done with your fucking business? Show me this? I'm not convinced. You're not treating us like human beings. Why didn't we get the notice? No love. Fade out. Let's go. Brothers." I was furious the moment I saw little Xingyao appear in the video. And then when I saw this family of three shaking their bodies in divine synchronization, my head went blank. Xingyao, you failed me in my love for you. Taken off. Taken off. Taken off. Brothers. Taken off. Why can they be there? But I can only be here drooling and watching the video. A fan posted a video that instantly transformed all netizens into lemon goblins. They couldn't wait to kill Gu Xingyi's house right now and question him as to why. Why didn't he inform them? That wasn't all. After that, many more live videos broke out, from a family of three singing, to a children's song skewer, to little Xingyao making a wish with her eyes closed, to little Xingyao playing with the kids. The most excessive. There were also videos of Xia Shiyao exchanging parenting tips with several mom fans. Not only these videos, but there were also fans who showed autographed photos of the family of three, photos of them hugging and kissing little Xingyao, and all kinds of small gifts at the scene. Only half an hour after the signing session, the internet was already flooded with these videos and photos. Countless netizens endured their heartache and red eyes, flipping through the videos one by one, especially when they saw a fan interacting intimately with little Xingyao. They couldn't wait to push the fan away and replace him or her. I can't stand it anymore. Brothers, Gu Xingyi and Xia Shiyao's two cub seeds are not proper sons. Whoever goes with me, kill Gu Xia. Rob Xingyao. Well said. Count me in. Kill Gu Xia. Rob Xingyao. For a while, the online crowd was furious. Everyone shouted out this slogan, and the originally calm internet once again set off a huge wave because of Gu Xingyi's family of three. Only this time, instead of showing solidarity with them, the netizens strongly condemned them. In response, Gu Xingyi and Xia Shiyao saw these condemnations on the internet at the first time, and both of them shrunk their necks at the same time, always feeling that there were chills coming from all sides. But they can't do anything about it. Only 2 days in advance to prepare. 2,000 people is already their limit. Any more would be a mess. They certainly prioritized their own personal guards. In the end, Gu Xingyi and Xia Shiyao were forced to release a siege blog under pressure. Brothers, we were wrong. You guys are generous and forgive us this time. We really weren't prepared this time. Next time for sure. As soon as the siege blog was sent out, it was topped by countless netizens, and as soon as the netizens saw that the rightful owner had put in a word and had a good attitude in admitting his mistake, they became even more arrogant. Next time? Speak clearly? When is the next time? What year, month, and day? What time, what minute, what second? Come out and say it clearly. I won't say anything else. Send us the full version of the video first. Do you want to see it again? I'm telling you, you're dead. Are there any brothers who are going to the China's Strongest Voice show tomorrow? Hold them both down for me and make them give an honest explanation. Which time is it next time exactly? The internet once again set off a frenzy, and all the netizens wanted to know which time the next time would actually be. With such a big commotion, other entertainment companies naturally saw it too, only that they were even more bitter in their hearts. Their own company had just been overhauled, but it was as if it was a big year for other people's Staryao Entertainment. Many heads of small and medium-sized entertainment companies were pondering at this time. Shouldn't they, in fact, lean towards Staryao Entertainment? After all, given the current situation, Gu Xingyao's talent was completely endless. An ordinary book signing, hardened by him to make flowers, and those children's songs that appeared inside were all new and original. Who dares to say that he's exhausted his talent when he can throw out so many new songs just for his daughter's birthday? Since they couldn't beat him, they would join. Many company heads of small and medium-sized entertainment awakened at this moment. At the Tianmei Entertainment Building, Lu Gao didn't know how many times his eyes had become lifeless. He knew that Shangshi Entertainment had a different voice in their company after the last blow, and although Tian Xingqi was still holding on, he was afraid that he wouldn't be able to hold on for much longer. As for those small and medium-sized entertainment companies, they were already a bunch of rabble, and after such a big blow this time, it was expected that they would only go against the grain. This birthday party organized by Gu Xingyi also made Lu Gao completely see that this man had no lower limits at all, and the talent he displayed was simply breathtaking. It has to be a quick fix. Help me contact Chairman Tian, the next phase of the tournament, 3 matches, all on aces. Lu Gao said to his secretary with an expressionless face, while in his heart, he thought about many things. If he lost again in this installment, then how was he going to maintain the title of triumvirate? The next day, the heat on the internet about the signing session was still lingering, while another heat was also climbing fast, and that was tonight's China's Strongest Voice. Following the last competition, everyone was dying with anticipation for this competition. After all, they knew that with each installment of the competition, Gu Xingyi would be able to bring them a different new song, or the thieving kind. Ever since Gu Xingyi appeared, their song list had never lacked good songs. In recent days, some media outlets have even boldly stated that Gu Xingyi is the one sent by heaven to create a new era in the music industry. The netizens also recognized this. They felt that this time is really a hero to create a trend, rather than talent overcoming capital. It is more like capital can no longer suppress talent. Gu Xingyi alone, with his talent, had stirred the entire music scene into a frenzy. If he succeeded in taking out Tianmei Entertainment this time, then he would become the first person in history to shake up a giant company with the power of one person. In Jiangchang, in Staryao Entertainment, Gu Xingyi and Xia Shiyao had just arrived at the company when Yang Lin approached them. Mr. Gu, that Rene, the interview passed, only his job position, there is still to be agreed upon. I think there are 2 positions that are very suitable for him. One is the head of the security department. He recognizes a lot of people in this area. It's good for him to take the lead in the formation. The second one is your assistant. According to his previous work experience, he can also do well in this aspect of managing contacts, and the relevant specialties are also in place. Yang Lin said, handing the interview information of Ring Yuyo in her hand to Gu Xingyi. Gu Xingyi took the information and read it carefully, then suddenly looked up and asked, "Do you know what he was dismissed from the last company for?" Yang Lin nodded. Asked, because he was not used to seeing some of the leaders under the table behavior, and most of all because he was not used to seeing the leader bullying newcomers, so, he was dismissed. This kind of character, really not suitable for the workplace. Like this? Quite good, at least the 3 views are correct, the character can be. Gu Xingyi said while flipping through the information, and when he finished reading all the information, he looked up again and asked, "Do you know the conditions of his family?" "That I didn't ask, it's just that he requires that he can only go to work after 9 a.m., and at night no matter how late it is. But he has to make a trip home from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., and of course, he said that the salary can be lowered, but there's no way to talk about this issue of time." Gu Xingyi nodded his head in contemplation for a moment, then raised his hand to return the information to Yang Lin. "The salary will be as standard. Time can be given to him. Ask him if he's willing to be my assistant. If not, the head of the security department is fine. Ask him for his opinion." Yang Lin received the information. Her brows frowned slightly, but she didn't say anything. She just agreed and left the office. Xia Shiyao also looked over with some confusion and asked curiously, "What's so special about this person? It feels like you have some regard for him?" "I don't know, it's just, I saw his daughter yesterday, and that attitude of his, there's always a bad feeling. I hope I'm overthinking it. When I'm familiar with it, I'll naturally know." Gu Xingyi shook his head, his face a little heavy. Yesterday, he had a vague feeling that something was wrong, and the thing that made him feel wrong was Ren Yi's words, that he hoped that one day he would let Nini see her favorite young lady with her own eyes. And for that very reason, it was a bit unusual that he had traveled thousands of miles to come here, or in a situation where he wasn't sure if he would be able to see Nini. What was the issue that caused him to be so desperate? Gu Xingyi didn't know. He had just come into contact with Ren Yuyo yesterday and couldn't talk about that yet. Time flashed by, coming to 8 o'clock in the evening, and the fourth installment of China's Strongest Voice also came at this time. The main event of tonight's first show, which everyone was looking forward to, had already begun, and Tianmei Entertainment sent out a first-tier singer, bringing the same original love song. This love song made the netizens nod their heads. This standard has indeed been raised. Tianmei Entertainment has also begun to make an effort. But although the standard had been raised to the top level of the old music scene, unfortunately, netizens were more looking forward to Gu Xingyi's song. What's the saying? You're good, but he's better. No comparison, no harm, the level of this session of songwriters, and that's it. If all the songwriters will be graded, Gu Xingyi is the only one. In front of Gu Xingyi, all the other songwriters have to sit down. Finally, it's the turn of Xingyou Entertainment. Netizens are surprised to find that Xingyou Entertainment is a newcomer and a pair of combinations. Last time, the newcomer duo of Feng Xiaoxiao and Yi Shuihan brought them a big surprise, and they didn't expect that. This time, it was again, and this time, this pair was the same pair of ballad singers that had been exposed on the internet before. Wang Xini and Wu Piling. Familiar high stools, familiar white body shirts with jeans, familiar guitars and girls. It was obvious that they were ready to sing ballads. The audience couldn't help but look forward to it. There hadn't been a single ballad they had heard that had caught fire out of the ring yet. They wondered if this one could bring them a different feeling. The music sounded, and on the big screen, the title of the song was revealed. Wu Piling gently swept her guitar, Wang Xini slightly swayed her body, and smiled with Wu Piling. This beautiful picture made the audience and netizens' hearts involuntarily quiet down. The music was pure, the singer was pure, everything was just right. They looked at the big screen, it was still the song made by Xing Yao, and the singer was The Landlord's Cat. And this title of the song on the screen was very much in line with the ballad. Clouds and smoke become rain. Accompanied by the sound of music and guitar, Wang Xini softly opened her mouth and sang, her voice pure and straight into the heart. Your good night is a subconscious compassion. I stayed until late at night to cure my insomnia. I left that handwritten letter at the bottom of my suitcase. It's too late to give it the meaning of a journey. All the audience who heard this song unconsciously settled down in their hearts. The song seemed to have a kind of magic that could make them quiet inside. This is also the unique charm of ballads. There are 3 ballads: love, ideals, and faraway places. These are the original aspirations of everyone's heart, and everyone who hears this song, at this moment, remembers the dream that was hidden in their hearts. These dreams may be once the favorite that she, may be long lost that initial heart, may be the reality of the broken yearning. These things that have been gained and lost, at this moment, everything, are awakened by Wang Xini's song. If everything has turned to smoke and rain, can I turn into mud and stain you again? If life is like a passing movie, let me wake up from my sweet dreams again. I'd love to see you again, even if it's just for a quick glance. A dim silhouette in the streetlight, a long, long walk in the woods. I'd like to see you again, at least as a joke. The first time the leaves fall in the alley, the autumn equinox, we're drifting away. What a gentle 2 little ones. Only Starry Yao Entertainment can put such 2 little fresheners in a good place, right? I want to see you again, even if it's just for a quick glance. Tears in my eyes, cherish the people around me. The grumpy heart suddenly quieted down, and the tears naturally fell. But I'll never see her again, all things have an end, but only thoughts don't. The song Clouds and Smoke Become Rain made the netizens collectively fall into emo once again, and this time, all of them remembered the person they wanted to see again, but simply could never see again. They all listened to the song and remembered the person they had dusted off in their hearts for a long time. No matter if it was family, friendship, or love, there was always that one person that one would want to see again from the bottom of one's heart, even if it was only for a moment. Even the Tianmei Entertainment is watching the game. Lu Gao, or at this time closed his eyes, who do not have a want to see but cannot see the person? Gu Xingyi, this then, although he was the opposite of him, Lu Gao also had to admit that this person really knew people's hearts too well and was too talented. At least when it came to lyrics and music, he was like a monster without a breakthrough. Some of the directors of Tianmei Entertainment had already sighed inside. They were now at a loss. How was this going to be fought? There was no way to fight. This wasn't even on the same level, it was purely being crushed on the ground. They looked at Lu Gao, who had his eyes closed, and no one knew what the company's top executive was thinking at the moment. On the scene, Wang Xini, who was slightly wearing light makeup, was holding a microphone in her hand, looking like a neighboring girl, giving people an inexplicable sense of intimacy. She sat on the familiar high stool, looking at the audience, quietly singing. The siren wails at the station. I miss your voice. We carry our past into the crowd, looking for a place to put ourselves. I want to see you again, even if it's just a quick glance. Wu Peiling swept the guitar strings quickly. The song gradually came to an end, and the eyes of their 2 little ones became brighter and brighter. They had already found their place. Star Yao Entertainment was a great, great big family. As the song ended, Wang Xini picked up the microphone, Wu Piling picked up her guitar, and the 2 of them bowed to the quiet audience at the scene, turned around and smiled as they walked towards their big family. It wasn't until the two were left with only their backs that the audience at the scene came out of the mood of the song and erupted into a burst of loud applause and screams. Treasure Girl, truly the ideal on earth. Sure enough, girls who sing ballads are all so clean and beautiful. It's not that ballads have fallen out, it's because the good ones this have just appeared. Online, I don't know who said such a paragraph, attracting countless people's admiration. It's not that ballads have declined, but there's no one who writes them with heart and soul, and now this one has finally appeared. In a short while, the results of this competition had been released. The directors of Tianmei Entertainment, looking at the obvious number of votes on the internet, each face did not have much expression. When failure had become commonplace, they were more likely to accept it, and now in this situation, if Tianmei Entertainment really won, then they would be shocked. Dong Lu, is there still a need for us to compete? A director looked at Lu Gao, who was still contemplating with his eyes closed, and finally couldn't help but ask. Only then did Lu Gao open his eyes and look at these directors present. He was now already angry. It was really a step too far in the beginning, and it was also Tianmei Entertainment's fault that he had come to this point. Why don't we compare, at least? Also want to die a little bit more decent. Shengshi Entertainment's Heavenly King Qihua is not yet on the stage. Let's talk about it when he's on. As for the match after that, I have my own plans. Lu Gao said indifferently. The directors at the conference table all looked at each other in dismay, not to mention the fact that Mu Baiwei had failed, and Qihua was surely in danger as well. Let's say that even if the Heavenly King Qihua won a match, what could he do? As long as Gu Xingyi's talent was still there, the final score was bound to be higher for Xingyou Entertainment. Anyone with eyes could see that Star Yao Entertainment had already managed to book the title of one of the three giants, and the rest was just a matter of time. But since Lu Gao had already decided, the directors didn't ask too many questions. After all, this company was founded by him, and no one would doubt his abilities. On the scene, in the other two rings, Shengshi Entertainment's points came to 4. The other few points were in the hands of different entertainment companies, and overall, Shengshi Entertainment was still stable. As for Sound and Sea Entertainment, the points even came to 6, they were also winning more and losing less, a little more powerful than Shengshi Entertainment. The situation was now very clear. If nothing else, Tianmei Entertainment would be pulled down, and the new trio would be Sound Ocean Entertainment, Shengshi Entertainment and Xingyou Entertainment. The match came back to the ring where Star Yao Entertainment was located, and this time, the one who appeared was everyone's old acquaintance, Xiao Feibai from Shengshi Entertainment. The contestant who had been bloodily abused by Xia Shiyao in Star Song Festival, the contestant who had only received a friendly vote from the judges, now he was standing on this kind of stage again, and although he was not sure if his opponent was Xia Shiyao, he knew that this match was definitely still a song written by Gu Xingyi. Xiao Feibai only felt that this moment is a bit dreamy. Think about the beginning, he and Miao Anjuan and Xia Shiyao can still compete on the same stage, but how long has it been? The two of them were already an unattainable existence for him. Whether it was the fame, or the heat, or the songs they sang, every single one of them was incomparable. And what led to all of this was because of that man. In fact, Xiao Feibai's relationship with Miao Ankuan has always been quite good. He saw Miao Ankuan like this, he is also quite happy, just that he still has great regrets in his heart. After all, he, himself, will still have to stay in the Shengshi Entertainment this swamp for a long time. Music sounded, Xiao Feibai quickly adjusted his state. No matter what, his love for music is still the same. In the world of music, he has to take out his best state. At the end of the song, the fans on the scene also enthusiastically offered their applause. This phase of the competition, there is no bad, are some very good singers, they really like it. Xiao Feibai bowed and exhaled lightly before slowly retreating from the stage. Coming to the entrance of the backstage, the person who came face to face made him, who had just breathed a sigh of relief, unable to help but be stunned, and then a helpless bitter smile surfaced on his face. Mr. Xue, how could it be you? It's also too much to look down on me, isn't it? The person who came was none other than Xue Xiaoqian, who laughed and patted Xiao Feibai's shoulder. It can't be helped, Mr. Gu ordered it, but it's also because you sing so well. This is too much of a blow. Xiao Feibai shook his head, the smile on his face became even more bitter, and in his heart, he secretly sprayed Gu Xingyi. Isn't this killing a pig with a bull knife? Xue Xiaoqian's own fame is more than a first-tier singer, although the past 2 years do not appear in the public's field of vision, but his old songs are still circulating. This time with Gu Xingyi's song, Xiao Feibai really didn't know how to describe it. It was purely here to strike a blow. Xue Xiaoqian had already walked onto the stage with the microphone at this point, and the scene unsurprisingly erupted into a deafening chorus of shouts. Xiao Feibai turned back to look at the radiant Xue Xiaoqian on the stage, ruthlessly clenched his teeth and said fiercely, "Lean! Say what laborers also want to jump ship. Shengshi Entertainment. Yuck! Dogs don't even stay." Xue Xiaoqian's appearance had struck Xiao Feibai completely. Before the duel between the two divas, he hadn't personally experienced it, and he couldn't feel that oppressive feeling of singing Yao Entertainment yet. But this time when he personally faced Xue Xiaoqian, he felt it. It was a blow that was bound to be lost. Without any hope of seeing victory, this blow caused the seed within him that was already hesitant to take root all of a sudden. If one loves music, one must leave Shangshur Entertainment. Even if he had to pay the liquidated damages, he had to leave. After leaving, if Star Yao Entertainment could want him, naturally it would be great. If not, he would try his best to carry on his music career to the end. However, he believed that Star Yao Entertainment would want him, because they had the same philosophy. On the stage in front, the audience's continuous cheering was still going on. Xiao Feibai raised his eyes to look, and there on the big screen, the title of the song had already appeared. The Actor. Accompanied by the sound of background music, the audience gradually quieted down, and Xue Xiaoqian flew into the mood. Keep it simple. Speak in a simple way. Please omit the progressive emotions. You're not an actor. Don't devise those plots. The unique lyrics with Xue Xiaoqian's unique voice. This song was simply customized for him. Xiao Feibai listened to the song, and was a bit smitten for a moment. No wonder all these people want to join Star Yao Entertainment. This is the answer. Even a good singer needs a song tailored specifically for him to set off. Between the singer and the song, they are always complementary to each other. Every famous singer has a classic that others can't surpass. And therein lay the charm of Xingyao Entertainment. Gu Xingyi would always be able to create their own songs for these people. The song actor made the netizens who had just been brought into a quiet mood by clouds and smoke become rain instantly break their defenses. Life is the script, and we are all actors in our respective lives. Ugh. I'm wondering what on earth I'd been through to be able to write lyrics like this. Huh? Wait? You mean Xiaoshur Yao is an actor? Ha ha. Nonsense. I clearly mean what old Shui went through for Gu Xingyi to be able to write such a song for him. So it's always old Shui who gets hurt. In fact, slowly, each of us has become an actor, living in different masks. Upstairs, here's to a cigarette. The song progresses layer by layer, and the lyrics are heartfelt, pulling the audience's emotions into the bottom, and then pulling them out from the bottom, ravaging them repeatedly. Xue Xiaoqian, on the other hand, had been thoroughly immersed in this song, Actor. Gu Xingyi's song was truly customized for him, just like Lu Ruoying's later, and when he got the song, he knew that joining Xingyao Entertainment was the most correct choice he had ever made. The song had also reached its climax at this moment, and Xue Xiaoqian loosened the microphone in his hand and held it tightly again, his unique voice coming out once more. I turned a blind eye when I should have cooperated with your performance. In forcing a person who loves you the most to improvise. When did we start to pull back? To conform to the changing times, to watch those poorly executed performances. Phew. Another blow. Xiao Feibai, backstage, still shook his head with a bitter smile. He had experienced this feeling twice since his debut. Once was The Courage sung by Xiaoshur Yao, and once was this time, Xue Xiaoqian's Actor. What made him glad was that both times he sang first, he didn't even dare to imagine how he could sing on if he sang after they sang first. Surely he would directly have his Dao heart shattered, right? After all, not being able to catch someone else's song would be very embarrassing. Xue Xiaoqian on the stage had already finished singing. He waved to the audience and walked off the stage. Backstage, Xiao Feibai saw Xue Xiaoqian walking head-on. He froze in place and thought for a moment before he busily walked forward. Mr. Xue, does that Star Yao Entertainment still want people? Hearing Xiao Feibai's words, Xue Xiaoqian gave him a surprised look before quickly releasing a smile. It should want it, but it's still up to Mr. Gu to speak. I'm optimistic about you, oh. Junior. Xue Xiaoqian could tell at a glance what Xiao Feibai was thinking in his mind. He smiled and patted his shoulder. This youngster in his 20s seems to be enlightened. Mr. Gu? Oh, I see. Thank you, Mr. Xue. Xiao Feibai froze for a moment, and only in a flash did he realize that the general manager Gu that Xue Xiaoqian was talking about was Gu Xingyi, whose impression of Gu Xingyi had been stuck on his previous impression of being young and promising. It was only now that he suddenly realized that, yes, he was almost the boss of a triple giant company. When he thought of this, he couldn't help but feel some emotion in his heart. They are all the same age, why the difference can be so big? If this idea let Gu Xingyi know, he would definitely want to spit out some. You say you're fine, with a humanoid plugin, then what? Not bad enough. Feibai, what are you staring at? Xiao Feibai was still lamenting, when suddenly another voice entered his ears. He looked up and instantly froze again. Qi, brother Qi, you're on the next game? Yeah, come over to see how powerful the youngsters of today are. Qi Hua said with a smile, then looked at the room where Star Yao Entertainment was emotionally at. I really didn't expect that I would also be transferred out to compete with the juniors again one day. Honestly, it would be fine if I win, but it would be a shame if I lose. Xiao Feibai didn't chime in because he didn't know what to say. He was also beating the drum in his heart. Qi Hua was the contemporary Heavenly King. His strength was naturally indisputably strong, but he didn't know why. He just vaguely felt as if Gu Xingyi wouldn't lose. Alright, I'll go on first. Qi Hua could see Xiao Feibai's entanglement, and he didn't care too much about it. After all, he himself knew that Gu Xingyi was a once-in-a-thousand-years demon, and no one knew what Gu Xingyi would do again. On the stage, as soon as Qi Hua appeared on stage, the arena cheered above and beyond, tens of thousands of people rose and cheered, which could be described as the ground shaking. After Diva Mu Baiwei, this is the second heavyweight contestant. It also meant that this match, again, was something to watch. This time, Qi Hua brought a Cantonese song, The Sound of Sighs. The classic melody, paired with his special voice, made this Cantonese song instantly conquer the ears of the audience. The reason why the Heavenly King was the Heavenly King, that was really his all-round and deathless way of making people like him. Gu Xingyi, who was watching the match backstage, smiled when he saw Qi Hua come on stage. It had finally come. He had been waiting for a long time, and he knew that after this match, Star Yao Entertainment, in this music world, would have no more rivals. Qi Hua's appearance let all the entertainment companies know that this match would be the one that would determine the direction of the music world afterward. If Mu Baiwei's defeat before was representative of Star Yao Entertainment's strong rise, then the winner of this match would determine Star Yao Entertainment's position in the music industry afterward. A classic Cantonese song was also the last challenge that Qi Hua brought to Gu Xingyi, and it was also the hardest one. Just like later, a classic was a classic because no matter when, it could be passed down. The biggest difference between it and other songs was that other songs could only be popular for a while, but not for a lifetime without this underlying popularity. After Qi Hua finished his song, he stood on this long-lost stage and looked at the audience, vaguely as if he had seen his young self at the beginning. Especially today, he was still in the role of a challenger, and he had this feeling even more. The years were getting old, and a new generation was better than the old one. Just like the song he was singing right now, there was only the sound of sighs left. The audience under the stage had gone crazy as they chanted Qi Hua's name. Many of them had been in tears, since Mu Baiwei and Qi Hua and these people had each struggled with other endeavors. They hadn't enjoyed music like this for a long time. Although there was a Gu Xingyi later on, the touch brought by Gu Xingyi was not the same as the touch brought to them by these old people. People were nostalgic, and the appearance of these people fulfilled their nostalgia, and this edition of China's Strongest Voice fulfilled all their expectations. As the music ended, Qi Hua left the stage reluctantly amidst everyone's shouts. Coming backstage, he looked towards where Xingyao Entertainment was, and couldn't help but have some expectations in his heart as well. This time, what kind of surprise would Gu Xingyao give everyone? For the position that Qi Hua was in now, although he was a person from Shengshi Entertainment, but it was only the name that was attached to Shengshi Entertainment, and he could have set up his own business a long time ago. So he was looking forward to this match more because of who his opponent was, and what kind of song Gu Xingyi would actually write. It was also at this moment that the door to the room where Xingyao Entertainment was located opened, and a valiant man walked out from it. Seeing this man, Qi Hua froze for a moment. It wasn't until the man walked to his side that he came back to his senses and shouted out his name in disbelief. Heavenly King Lu. Hey, Shao Qi, you sang very well. I can see the shadow of me back then in you. Qi Hua never expected that Gu Xingyi could be such a dog, and never expected that Lu Wangtian could join Star Yao Entertainment. Lu Wangtian, but the old generation of Heavenly Kings, was also his idol. Against his idol? Qi Hua was a bit confused. He had thought that this time was a challenge that he had set for Gu Xingyi, but he didn't realize that he was really a challenger. In front of his idol, wasn't he just the same as the rookie at the beginning? Gu Xing, this cub seed, was also too much of a miscreant, letting his own idol smash his own scene. This was also too breathless. Qi Hua stuttered for half a day before grunting out with a flushed face. Lu. Heavenly King Lu, I really didn't expect it to be you. I'm not purely looking for abuse. Gee, don't say that. A good song has no boundaries and no age. A good song is a good song. Your sound of sighs makes me very touched. I can appreciate the flavor inside. It's really good. Then thank you for the compliments, Brother Lu. I'm also very much looking forward to your songs. Qi Hua, who had already calmed down, was very happy to receive praises from Heavenly King Lu, and he was also very excited to hear his idol's new song again. He had grown up listening to Heavenly King Lu's songs back then. Okay, enough with the catching up. I'll go on stage first then. Heavenly King Lu nodded his head before he took a step towards the stage. Qi Hua looked at Heavenly King Lu's steady steps and became even more excited in his heart. An idol is an idol. Even his back is so handsome. At this moment, within the live broadcast room, the netizens' hearts were even more shaken to the core as if they had experienced a magnitude 10 earthquake when they saw Star Yao Entertainment's appearance. Engaging in this? Still letting other entertainment companies live? Heavenly King Lu. This face value. Holy shit. Handsome as hell. Qi Hua, you're just called Gu Xingyi, right? What? Lu Tianwang? I'm sorry. I was a bit loud just now. Laughing to death. Who doesn't know that Heavenly King Lu is Qi Hua's idol? Gu Xingyi is the one who can play. Qi Hua, no, snowflakes fluttering north wind dashing heaven and earth a pale. Inside the Star Yao Entertainment room, Gu Xingyi calmly put away his cell phone, but the smile on his face couldn't be hidden. Xia Shiyao looked at him curiously and asked, "What did you just post? Smiling so happily?" "I remembered happy things. Watch the game." Gu Xingyi struggled to hold back his laughter and hurriedly changed the topic. Xia Shiyao glanced at him in wonder, always feeling that he wasn't doing anything good. On the stage, the music had already started, and Heavenly King Lu had dashingly followed the music and opened his arms, and the female fans below immediately erupted in a burst of intense screams. The acting was first-rate. Singing was first-rate. Personality first-class. The looks and temperament were even first-rate. It's Lu Tianwang. Although he was now old, it didn't affect his image in the hearts of his fans in the slightest, which instead made him more mature and charming. On the big screen at the back, the title of the song had also appeared. Fascinated in the Dark. It was also a Cantonese song. The same Cantonese song. The same classic. Old Heavenly Kings versus New Heavenly Kings. Idols versus fans. It's a classic among classics. As soon as Heavenly King Lu's unique gentle and mellow voice came out, it made everyone's heart stutter, a familiar feeling, a familiar formula. The only thing that had changed was his age in this song. May I not wander within the gaze like this? You'll realize that I'm simply lonely. Even though 1,000 late nights, within dreams, I've kissed you, it didn't exist after all. As soon as the song came out, it mesmerized everyone, and even more so, it brought back memories in the hearts of countless people. They all had the illusion of dreaming back to their youth. The song is too good, and, sure enough, Heavenly King Lu's song is one that only he can sing with the flavor that it should have. One of a kind. Any cover can't cover this flavor. Tribute to the classics. Tonight is the night of the classics. Of course, Gu Xingyi is good at choosing people. It's not blown out of proportion. No matter who sings this song, it's not as flavorful as what Heavenly King Lu sings. Magnetic voice, sung with emotion, romantic and warm, with a hint of sadness, too deep into my heart. The netizens were caught up in the passing era. Even Chi Hua in the background, looking at Heavenly King Lu on stage, was caught up in it. Listening to this song, it was as if he had returned to the era when he was sitting in front of the CD player, watching his idol day and night. At that time, he was dreaming that one day, he would be able to sing with his idol on the same stage. Now, it seemed that this wish had finally come true. In the conference room of Tianmei Entertainment, all the top management had no sadness or joy on their faces the moment they saw Heavenly King Lu appear. Tired. Destroy it. This world is not worth it. I thought that Heavenly King Chihua could resist a little bit, who knew that this was not resistant at all. They once again looked at Lu Gao, the meaning in their eyes was very clear. Well, now there is no need to struggle, you say what to do. Lu Gao was also expressionless, he ignored the gazes of the crowd, still looking at the dashing figure on the big screen as he sang yet another classic Cantonese song. Fascinated in the Dark. That's quite mesmerizing. Meeting adjourned. A clear and cold voice came out from Lu Gao's mouth, and the directors present were all stunned, and they all wondered if they had heard it wrong. Dismiss the meeting? Was it compromised just like that? Everyone looked at each other in disbelief, but seeing that Lu Gao still looked unmoving, they finally could only pack up the documents in front of them and disperse. The sounds of people and cars are starting to fade and pass away. There's an emotional slave who's struggling silently. It's how much I miss her. But all I can do is sigh endlessly. In the screen, Lu Tianwang's charming song was still coming. Lu Gao's eyes were bright and uncertain. He didn't know what he was thinking about. A few moments later, he took out his cell phone and dialed the phone. Inform her, let her get ready, the name of the triumvirate, we can't lose. A voice came from the other end of the phone, and a moment later, Lu Gao put down his cell phone and continued to watch the match. Now he could only do the second choice. Starry Yao Entertainment couldn't move. He could only find another way. As for why he didn't tell the other directors, because he felt that this batch of directors were all losers. If Gu Xingyao could have pressed him down when he was first revealed, where would there be so many things now? And, with the second option, the less people knew, the better. On the scene, Heavenly King Lu was still singing. The audience had all stood up, shaking the glow sticks in their hands and waving them around. The glow sticks and the rhythm of the song were just right. They listened to the song, in front of their eyes as if the scene of Lu Tianwang when he was young, when he acted in a movie, sang a song, these scenes, one by one in front of their eyes. Actually, I'm fascinated every time I see you. But you and I have our own roles to play. Even if we're more than friends in a lonely dream. But I love you in the dark. I love you in the dark and I'm obsessed in the dark. I don't want you to get into trouble. Say goodbye to me, don't let the emptiness make me go astray. It's really a classic voice. It's mesmerizing. It makes people nostalgic. When Heavenly King Lu sang this, many people couldn't help but cover their faces and cry. This was their youth. This is the music of that time. People can't help but want to follow the loud chorus. Good music is like this, no matter when you are happy or sad, you can't help but be immersed in it. When you are happy you listen to the song, when you are sad you listen to the words. It can bring the stories that all people have experienced into the music and then move people. At this moment on the internet, the topic about Heavenly King Lu and this song had even exploded, and before the song was even finished, a hot search was already locked in advance. Worthy of being Heavenly King Lu. The moment he opens his mouth, he makes people secretly mesmerized. Classic Cantonese song. The old Heavenly King returns. The song Secretly Enchanted makes people cry. The peak face of Heavenly King Lu, even I at my peak had to avoid him. When I first met Heavenly King, I couldn't wet myself. When I saw him again, he was still the same Heavenly King, but I wasn't the same person I was at the beginning. On the stage, the song had already ended, and at this moment, not only the audience was in tears, but even Heavenly King Lu himself on the stage, was already in tears. Heavenly King had aged, but his heart hadn't, and at this moment, when he encountered Gu Xingyi and fascinated in the dark, he seemed to have found his inner fiery self back then. Although many people had said as early as before that even if Heavenly King Lu did nothing and stood towards the stage, he would make people excited. But who wasn't clear about his character? He also wouldn't allow himself to stand on the stage with no works and just rely on his fame to get by. This song, Secretly Enchanted, really recreates the style he had back in the day. Until Heavenly King Lu exited the stage, the audience in the arena and the netizens in the live broadcast room couldn't let go of that excitement for a long time. His figure on the stage had disappeared, but in the hearts of the audience, his figure existed forever. The fourth installment of China's Strongest Voice also came to an end with the exit of Heavenly King Lu. And with the end of this phase of the competition, it also represented that a new era in the music industry had officially arrived. The first and fastest to react was the various media outlets. As soon as the competition ended, a flood of news ensued. Following the victory of Heavenly King Lu, Star Yao Entertainment, the points came to the first place in the ring, no doubt. A new triumvirate has emerged. Taking stock of Gu Xingyao's road to fame, from obscurity to chairman of one of the big three, he only used a few months. Big events in the entertainment industry. Tian Mei is dead. Star Yao is in power. Gu Xingyao becomes the final winner. In addition to the media's actions, some entertainment companies had even changed their recruitment policies, and they had even put out the word that all of their companies' treaties were on par with Star Yao Entertainment. In addition to releasing these words, they even took the initiative to send out a blog to congratulate Star Yao Entertainment, not asking for anything else, but just to be able to mix it up. Everyone knew that Gu Xingyi was a treasure, and it was definitely right to make good relations with him. Of course, there were still some entertainment companies that were still waiting to see what would happen. They all thought that a thin camel was bigger than a horse, and that Tianmei Entertainment, no matter how bad it was still a big company that had taken up the title of the Big Three for so many years. The entertainment industry was once again in turmoil, only this time, Gu Xingyi didn't need to capitalize on the situation. He already had the ability to fight the other three giants head-on. Star Yao Entertainment was once again busy because of this issue. Luckily, Renizzi reported to the company the next morning and became Gu Xingyi's personal assistant, plus bodyguard plus driver, which made things a lot easier for Gu Xingyi. Ren's business ability is not to speak of. Just on the first day of office, the company's business will be almost sorted out. He dealt with everything as even more seemingly at ease, not the slightest need to worry about Gu Xingyi. This allows Gu Xingyi to call out that he has picked up a big bargain. At the same time, Xingyao Animation also came the good news. One person under has been completed, ready to be released at any time. When Gu Xingyi arrived at the company, he heard a burst of cheers coming from Star Yao Animation's office, especially Chen Feng's voice, which had reached the main door. Brothers, wait for me to choose an auspicious day. Our Star Yao Animation's first work. It'll be able to successfully come out. Ha 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 ha. Madman, congratulations. Let me see how you guys are doing. Gu Xingyi said as he pushed open the door to Star Yao Animation's office area and looked towards Chen Feng, who was still excited. Ha ha. Same happy. Old Gu, you came just in time. Take a look at the finished product. It's different from what you had in mind. Seeing Gu Xingyi arrive, Chen Feng pulled him to the computer. Although he was assured of the skills of his people, he still wanted to let Gu Xingyi, the person who created the script, take a look. After all, he should be the one who had the most feelings about this anime. As Chen Feng clicked on the video file noted as one man, Gu Xingyi leaned over to look at the computer seriously. At this time, Xu Xiyin, Xu Ximeng and the others also gathered around. The looks on their faces were nervous. After struggling for so long, they were afraid that from Gu Xingyi wasn't that satisfied with their creation. On the computer, the story of one man's life slowly unfolded, opening late at night, a drunken man chattering to himself, walking in the mountains, accompanied by the sound of beasts and birds chirping in the mountains. The atmosphere was very bizarre. Gu Xingyi was a little stunned and continued to watch. Then a graveyard, a bizarre figure was digging a grave, a sound of shoveling soil. The drunken man was scared and shouted that there were ghosts. The picture turned, Zhang Chulan appeared. Seeing this, Gu Xingyi's eyes narrowed slightly. The Zhang Chulan on the computer in front of him, and the one he remembered, could not be said to be 100% similar, but it could already reach more than 95%. After that, the plot unfolded, and when Sister Bauer appeared, Gu Xingyi was completely relieved, and when he saw Sister Bauer again, who spoke fluent Xuanyu, Gu Xingyi pressed pause and slowly turned his head. Behind him, all the employees involved in the production of Star Yao Animation stared nervously at Gu Xingyi, not daring to breathe a single breath. Seeing them in this state, Gu Xingyi suddenly smiled. Everyone has worked hard. It's ready for release. As soon as the words fell, an ear-splitting cheer immediately erupted from the office. This anime had cost them several whole months of hard work, and now that it had finally passed, how could it not make them ecstatic? Crazy, when are you going to do the publicity and then release it? Gu Xingyi asked with a smile on his face. He didn't even realize that it was these people in front of him that had produced this anime, and the level of refinement was no less than the original world's one man's world. Old Gu, what do you think? I've made all the preparations. Wang Jun's anime, they should start publicizing it at the beginning of December. We, too, are scheduled for the same day as them. If they release the movie, we'll release it. Recklessly? Aren't you afraid of being pushed down? Ha ha, I created their above all beings, can I not know the script? Moreover, I don't believe that they can produce it better than us. I'm now incredibly confident that one man above all can crush them. Chen Feng laughed a bit, his self-satisfied look making Gu Xingyi want to whack him. However, when it's time to do the publicity, I'll still have to trouble you and your sister-in-law, huh? Chen Feng's words changed, scratching his head as he added. Gu Xingyi gave him a blank look. Just now was not still very arrogant, now how impotent. It's really a rookie. At the same time, also located in Zhengcheng, another studio. Wang Jun and Wan Qing have already done a good job of publicity film, but Wan Qing's face has been a bit gloomy. She looked at the computer on the film, cannot help but think of Chen Feng. Ever since she knew that Chen Feng was a rich second generation, she regretted it, and then with Gu Xingyi's fame getting hotter and hotter, she was now regretting it. He had thought that Chen Feng's family conditions were only the same as Wang Jun's. After all, when Chen Feng was dating her, he had never posed as a broad, and his usual life had always been able to make do with what he had, living like a sculpted silk. In that case, why couldn't she choose the better-looking Wang Jun? Moreover, at that time, Gu Xingyi's reputation was not better than now, and he was even caught in a domestic violence incident. When she originally saw that Gu Xingyi was Chen Feng's good brother, she thought that he could pull Chen Feng's strings, but at that time, that situation made her lose confidence in this good brother of Chen Feng as well. One step wrong, this makes Wan Qing every time she remembers her very remorseful. Her heart is also incomparable resentment. Chen Feng, you a rich second generation, engage in what pure love persona? Now it's useless to regret, things have already happened. Wan Qing can only look at the promo on the computer and ask. Wang Jun, the promo is released tomorrow, are the advertisements and whatnot placed? Also, have any stars been invited to publicize? Everything is ready, Xiao Qing, don't worry, this anime is bound to be hot, and I've invited all the famous bloggers in the anime industry to publicize it. Wang Jun said with a smile on his face as he swore. But on Chen Feng's side, don't forget what Gu Xingyi said in the beginning, and, with his current popularity, doing publicity will only be better than us. Wan Qing's face was still a bit ugly, she always remembered Gu Xingyi's bitchy voice back then. What does it mean to slightly understand? To understand is to understand, not to understand is not to understand, and the whole slight understanding came out to be annoying. Hearing Wan Qing's words, Wang Jun was not the least bit surprised, but seeing Wan Qing's still worried look, he wrapped his arm around Wan Qing's thin waist and comforted her. Gu Xingyi, I admit that he is indeed strong in lyrics and music. But this is anime. It's not like the anime world is the same thing as his showbiz world, and as you know, this anime was created by Chen Feng after simmering for almost 2 years, so I don't believe that just one Gu Xingyi will be able to come up with another good script in such a short period of time. It better be so. Ruan Qing thought for a moment and finally nodded, her face looking much better. It was also true that Gu Xingyi, someone who had never dabbled in anime before, even if he was more than capable, it was impossible for him to come up with a script and produce it so quickly. Moreover, his lyric ability was so strong, if he would still create anime, then he was simply not a normal human being. The next day, December 1st, 9 a.m., AI Cheng Anime, which was established by Wang Jun, officially released the promotional video of Under All Creatures, as a national anime, and with many famous anime bloggers recommending it, the promotional video immediately attracted countless anime-loving netizens to watch it as soon as it was aired. It must be said that although Beneath All Life follows the power system of traditional national comics, its fine drawing quality and ups and downs of the story are very eye-catching. Only 2 hours after the promotional video came out, it gained countless favorable comments. At this moment, the working room of AI Cheng Anime was in a state of jubilation, and the fire of the promo had given them hope. Even Wan Qing, who had been gloomy all day, was smiling at the moment. The promo had received so many positive reviews, it was foreseeable that once the main movie was released, the company would surely make a lot of money. Xiao Qing, how is it? I told you, it's absolutely hot. Come on, give me a kiss to celebrate. Wang Jun looked at the hot data of the promotional movie. He had long been happy. He put his arm around Ruan Qing's waist and said with a smile, "Stop it, everyone is watching." Ruan Qing had a shy look on her face and turned her face away. The other employees of the studio were speechless, and in their hearts, they all thought in unison, what's the point of pretending to be pure? It's not like they haven't done this in front of them before. Wang Jun, who was in a good mood, didn't care about Ruan Qing's refusal and forced a hard kiss on her lips. He seemed to have seen the steady stream of revenue coming in after the release of the main movie. But right at this moment, one of the company's backbones suddenly ran over in a hurry, his hand holding the tablet trembling a little. "Jun, it's over. It's over. You quickly take a look at the internet. Another national comic has appeared." With those words, he handed the tablet in his hand to Wang Jun. Wang Jun, who was still looking smug, frowned a bit, feeling a bit angry at this backbone's impudence. "Isn't it just a national manga? Why are you panicking? Which of the national comics these days can be beaten?" Wang Jun took the tablet and looked at it with disdain. There really wasn't a single national anime market that he could look at these days. But when he saw the name of this anime, the smile on his face suddenly disappeared. One Man Down? It couldn't be a plagiarism, could it? His anime was called Above All Beings, and this came back as Under One Person? What's the game? He then clicked on the promotional video on top of the tablet. Wudam Wang Yi. Greetings to the old heavenly master. The past cannot be undone. The future can be changed. The video began with Wang Bam, a scene of Wudam Wang Yi worshipping the old heavenly master, causing Wang Jun's pupils to tighten, and the more he looked at it, the more alarmed he became in his heart. This picture quality, this dubbing, this characterization, this lines. Especially when he saw Sister Bauer appear with a mouthful of Chuanyu dialect, his eyes went black with this image. This voice. It was too appealing. When Wang Jun came back to his senses, he once again saw a famous scene. It is Zhang Chulan's bird walking under the moon. In the video, step-shaking Billion Zhang Chulan mobilized the real air, laughing, making Wang Jun's hand holding the flatbed trembling, and then the flatbed bang sound fell to the ground. The light of national comics. If Under All Beings was an altered creation based on the original national comics, then this Under One Person was undoubtedly the light of national comics. Who the hell is it? Wang Jun chanted incredulously under his breath, and quickly picked up the tablet from the ground again, tapping on the publisher's information, and then, his eyes completely blacked out, and he sat on his butt on the ground. Wang Jun! Ruan Qing exclaimed in shock, also sensing that things were bad. She didn't bother with Wang Jun who was sitting on the ground. Instead, she snatched the tablet into her hands. In the next second, she also completely froze in place. Posted by Star Yao Anime. Star Yao. Star Yao. Now it was a person. I'm afraid they all knew what Star Yao stood for. But Ruan Cheng still didn't believe it and clicked on the Weibo, found Gu Xingyi and Xia Shuriyao's Weibo to check it out, and then, she also sat on her butt on the ground. Only to see that Gu Xingyi and Xia Shuriyao's Weibo had released their latest piece of information at the same time. Star Yao Animation's One Man Down promo has come out. I hope all of you greats will take a look at it. I can guarantee, this is a national anime that you can't ignore. For more details, please click One Man Down link. Ha! Gu Xingyi. Slightly understandable. Ha 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 ha. What a slight understanding. Ruan Qing cried and laughed like crazy, and finally she suddenly picked up the tablet again and found the profile of Xingyao Animation Company, staring at it with a deadly stare. Only to see that above the profile, within the column of the company's directors, Chen Feng's name had clearly appeared. Phone, I'm going to call him. In Ruan Qing's mind at this moment, there was only this one thought, and she was now completely regretting it. She was going to look for Chen Feng to reconnect. She believed that as long as she acted a little more pitiful and tender, Chen Feng would definitely agree to reconcile with her. After all, he had treated himself 100 times better during the year and a half they had been together in the first place. Splash man! What are you doing? Wang Jun, who was sitting on the side, seeing Ruan Qing in this state, snatched her cell phone and questioned with red eyes. Scram! It's all your fault. It's all because you caused me in the first place. If it wasn't for you, I would have been with Chen Feng long ago. With those words, Ruan Cheng went to grab the cell phone as if she was crazy, and the two of them tore themselves apart inside the company like this. At this moment on the internet, a wave had already been set off once again, not only in the anime world, but even people who usually didn't watch much anime knew that there was a national anime about to be released in theaters, named One Man's Life. Not only because of Gu Xingyi and Xia Shuriyao's publicity, even Lu Tianwang, Shui Xiaoqian and others, all released their blogs at the same time, all of them recommending the anime One Person Below. And this promo, the number of views has long exceeded 100 million, more millions of retweets and tens of millions of comments, at this time has dominated the various software hot search. This data was placed in the past, no anime has ever reached. There are countless well-known anime bloggers, independent production of promotional videos to help publicize. After all, these are traffic. Such great heat, don't want it for nothing. Xiaoji is a well-known anime blogger with 10 million fans. He loves anime. At first, when he saw Gu Xingyi and the others publicizing one person below, he was exceptionally angry. He felt that it was the rice circle culture polluting the anime world. He was going to vow to defend the anime world from pollution, so he also clicked on the One Man Down promo and watched it, and he was going to nitpick. He was going to find the lacking points of this anime and then bash Gu Xingyi and the others. However, when he watched the promo in one whole, his entire body froze, and after he froze for a long time, he gulped, and finally posted a siege blog online with a link to the promo. At first, when I saw so many celebrities promoting one person, I was exceptionally angry. I felt that it was tainting our anime community. Gu Xingyi is a person that I also like very much, and I love listening to his songs, but I don't agree that he can make a good anime, especially a national anime. Today's national anime is suffering. But when I watched the promo in its entirety, I realized that I was wrong. I just want to say sorry to Gu Xingyi, and then say one more thing. It's so good looking. In my heart, this is the light of national comics. It deserves it. I would like to recommend this anime to all of you. Read on. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Xiaoji finished his roundup blog in one breath, and then took a long breath of relief. He was now also incredibly looking forward to the release of this anime's main movie. In addition, he, who never paid attention to celebrities, paid attention to two people for the first time. One was Gu Xingyi, and the other, Xia Shiyao. With the fermentation of time, the promo for One Man's Life completely flamed out of the circle. Not only did it stir up the entire anime world, even netizens who usually didn't watch much anime were paying attention to this national anime. Not because of anything else, just because it was produced by Xingyao Anime, and the person who created the script was still Gu Xingyi. The online debate about One Man Down was even more explosive. From the anime industry to the entertainment industry, basically everyone was talking about this national anime. Originally, when I saw Gu Xingyi recommending it, I thought that this cub seed didn't write songs properly and started fooling around again, until so many of the stars I watched were recommending it. I clicked on it with a curious heart, and then, my whole body was stunned, laughing my ass off. What kind of godly anime is this? Moonlight walking a bird, in one air. Ha 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 ha. I have to say, I love Sister Bauer's image so much, especially that mouthful of authentic Chuanyu dialect. Ha, you melon child. It's so outrageous. Gu Xingyi this then not only writes songs outrageously, now he's even writing anime scripts, and he writes it so well. He's just not human. I, who doesn't watch much anime, am somewhat looking forward to this One Man's Life. I love old Tenchi. It's so valiant. It feels like it's definitely a big boss. The characterization and story content in the promotional video for One Man Down completely captured the attention of netizens, and they all began to look forward to the arrival of the main movie. On the other hand, AI Ching Studios' Above All Beings was now directly forgotten in a corner. If the first 2 hours there were still people who clicked in to take a look, but by now, the number of views was close to zero. It's not that Above All Beings isn't good enough, it's that Under One Person is too dazzling. Without comparison, there is no harm. At this moment, Wang Jun, who had just fought with Ruan Qing, was already beyond love. He could already foresee the ending of Above All Beings, and this time, he would surely lose all his money. This ending he cannot accept. To know, in order to create this animation, his family has been emptied, but also can find all the investment to find, can borrow all the places borrowed, and basically in his own name. Now this situation, the company many employees have already rolled cover to leave. Ruan Qing is completely broken with him, will pull him black. At this moment, he is left with this empty office and full of debt. Then when Chen Feng is even more miserable 100 times. In Staryao Anime, everyone was still celebrating the explosion of the promo when Chen Feng received a phone call. He looked at the caller ID on it and his brows immediately furrowed. He didn't pick up the call immediately, but after hesitating for a while, he silently hung up the call and pulled the plug. When he looked up again, he looked at these joyful smiling faces in front of him, then smiled as well. Gu Xingyi, who was on the side, saw all of this, and he smiled as well, then walked forward and patted Chen Feng's shoulder. Not picking it up? Now that you've succeeded, isn't it all the more important to pick it up and listen to what she has to say? So I'm such a small-minded person in your heart, am I? Chen Feng blankly glanced at him and said without a trace of anger. Gu Xingyi laughed even more cheerfully and slapped Chen Feng's shoulder 2 more times heavily. Only then did Chen Feng sigh, before spreading his hands. Before One Man's Life was successful, I was still thinking about how I should go about standing in front of her in an overbearing manner if I succeeded, proving to her how poor her vision was. But when it did succeed, I suddenly realized that it was all in the past. Especially when working together with everyone, I realized even more clearly that the reason why we people, can get together is because of the dream in our hearts, and this dream shouldn't be tarnished by people like this. What's in the past is in the past, and we should look forward. Very deep understanding, not bad. This is the Chen Feng I know. Give you a round of applause. Gu Xingyi was still smiling, only in this smile, there was finally more relaxation. In fact, he was worried before, worried that Chen Feng would go back to Ruanqing after he succeeded, worried that he would be coaxed by sweet words again, worried that he would repeat his mistakes. But no, although Chen Feng looks big and bold, but his heart is as clear as a mirror, very clear. The next day, what no one expected was that Ruanqing even came to the door. Although she was stopped outside by the security department, she still didn't leave and kept guarding outside the company. In the end, Chen Feng and Gu Xingyi had to step in and meet her. It was still this building where the three of them met, only this time, there was one less Wang Jun. Ruanqing's face still had some scars, her body was dressed as before. When she saw Chen Feng, that pitiful expression made Gu Xingyi's heart call out that it was a pity not to be an actor. Chen Feng, I broke up with Wang Jun. Ruanqing wanted to go forward and grab Chen Feng's hand, but she was flicked away by Chen Feng backing away, so she looked up and said pitifully to Chen Feng, "What's it to me if you broke up?" Chen Feng looked at the woman in front of him, and although his heart fluctuated a bit, he still frowned and said, "Chen Feng, I know you hate me, it's fine for you to hit me, it's fine for you to scold me, as long as you can get rid of your anger, then let's make up, just like before." No, please get this straight, I don't hate you now. No matter how I was with you in the beginning, we have nothing to do with each other now, and I won't have anything to do with you anymore, and lastly, please leave this place, you're not welcome in our company. Ruanqing continued to speak, but was directly interrupted by Chen Feng before giving an eviction order. Chen Feng, do you have to be so desperate? Putting aside the facts, are you not at fault at all? If you hadn't kept hiding your identity as a second-generation rich man, I wouldn't have left you in the first place. You lied to me first. These words almost made Gu Xingyi laugh, and also made Chen Feng's face, who still had some fluttering in his heart, completely cold. Good one aside from the facts. I don't have anything to talk to you about right now, you can stay here if you want to, but Ruanqing, I can clearly tell you that I won't have any relationship with you anymore, so if you still have a bit of face left, please don't come back to bother me. After saying that, Chen Feng just turned around, then his entire face completely blackened, only to see that on both sides of the company's front door, picketed full of people who were gathered around to see what was going on. He even saw that some people were actually holding melons and getting high, it was just outrageous. Seeing Ruanqing also want to reach out to retain, Gu Xingyi directly blocked behind Chen Feng, smilingly looked at Ruanqing. Seeing Gu Xingyi's smiling handsome face again, Ruanqing was inexplicably a little scared in her heart. She dared to cry in front of Chen Feng, but she didn't dare to do so in front of Gu Xingyi. She still vaguely remembered that Gu Xingyi had this same look back then, as if nothing could be difficult for him. So the impression Gu Xingyi gave her now was that he was an omnipotent being. You've heard the words of the madman, and as for me, I'll also advise you not to get yourself into trouble. Also, I told you guys back then, 30 years east of the river, 30 years west of the river, don't cheat the youth to be poor. Oh, by the way, my brother is not poor. I hope you remember my words. Other than that you're on your own. Ruanqing ended up leaving because of Gu Xingyi's words. She could guarantee that Chen Feng wouldn't do anything to her, but she couldn't read Gu Xingyi. In her heart, capital was always one thing, and the fact that Gu Xingyi could create such a large company in such a short period of time was, in her opinion, a horrible thing. If Gu Xingyi knew this idea of hers, he would definitely cry and laugh. It turned out that now he had become a capital predator in the eyes of others as well. On December 5th, the main movie of One Man's Life was officially launched, and it was released on the largest anime platform in China, the free anime platform. On the day of its release, this national anime reaped as much as 400 million plays, which can be called one of the highest first-day plays ever, and the rating even surpassed all the anime released in the same batch. It is incredible that a national anime can reach this level. The name of Xingyao Anime also resounded throughout the entire anime industry because of this anime. The online hot searches, since the appearance of One Person's Next, never stopped, and Xingyao Entertainment and Xingyao Anime were also hung up on by the netizens. Especially Gu Xingyi. Now the netizens are even more excited about him, and there is even a media posting detailing Gu Xingyi's development history, and then the netizens who saw this posting all sucked in a breath of cold air in unison. Starting from silence, he appeared in the public eye by relying on a song A Lifetime of You, to his initial fame after cooperating with Hua Yin and co-creating As Long as It's Ordinary, then to the incident of doting on his wife and the domestic violence incident, which plunged him into the vortex of public opinion. It wasn't until Xia Shiya came out to favor her husband that the netizens accepted him again, and after that, he was out of control, sending out one fine song after another until Xia Shiya was blocked, and Huayang came out to stand up for him because of his chasing dreams with a red heart. At this point he already had the backbone to fight against the entertainment industry. Until this time, Huayin's China's strongest voice, he no longer kept a low profile, and a few issues of the competition completely established his status. It's only been half a year. He had already made everyone in the entertainment industry only look up to him. And then now Star Yao Animation had released One Man's Life, which had caused the animation world to create another monstrous wave, turning his hand into clouds, turning hands into rain. It could only be said to be too terrifying. After countless netizens read the post released by this media, they were filled with shock and left comments below. Lean. If you didn't say it, I didn't even realize Gu Xingyi was this awesome. Family members, who understands? I've been chasing his songs until now, and when I look back, he's already standing at the top, and I'm still that obscure teenager from the beginning. Just get away from the big picture. It's really subliminal. We only pay attention to his songs, no one really seems to pay attention to his family history. The idol is right in front of us. No matter which way, he's the one I strive for. It can't be separated from our support either. But, he's made so much money and hasn't looked to donate even once? There's still moral abduction these days? He earns his money from his strength, so whether he donates or not is his business, right? Indeed it's his business, but without us, he can't stand up. Look at the entertainment industry. Which one has the ability and reputation, didn't do charity? He's the only exception. Upstairs. Don't confuse you with us. Speaking as if he's not relying on his strength, but all on you. It's said that Xia Shiyao and Gu Xingyi are a breath of fresh air in the entertainment industry, but I think it's just like that. No different from other capitalists. Not knowing who took the lead, the online trend suddenly changed, and many netizens began to discuss whether or not they should donate to this matter. Within Star Yao Entertainment at this moment, Gu Xingyi's few people naturally saw these comments and topics. How can these people be like this? What gives them the right to say that? 30% of the money our Star Yao Entertainment earns is used to help poor children and those patients who can't afford to see a doctor. Every single amount is personally scrutinized by Sister Yun before it's allocated. Sister Shiyao. Sister-in-law. Aren't you guys going to step in and clarify this? Tao Lele, who was nestled on the sofa and hugging her tablet, said in an exasperated manner as she hugged her tablet. Sister Yun and the others also looked over. They naturally all knew that 30% of the money Gu Xingyi earned went to various impoverished areas, and on the first day that Xingyou Entertainment was established, the Starshine charity was also established with it. Only Gu Xingyi never said anything, he just did it silently. Seeing this puffed-up look of Tao Lele, Xia Shiyao pressed her puffed-up little face with some amusement and said, "We're developing too fast. Naturally some people are jealous, these are very normal. Some people like it and some people hate it. If you get angry when you encounter something like this, then wouldn't you sooner or later be pissed off? But, they are really angry." Taluolele was still a bit indignant, even she had taken out 30%, and now she still had to be talked about like this. Okay, calm down, this is obviously someone bringing up the tempo, however, wanting to make an issue out of this kind of thing is not too childish, don't worry, don't pay any attention to it, what's the saying? But do good deeds, don't ask about your future, where your heart is, don't ask about the West. Gu Xingyi, who was sitting on the other side of the sofa, also pacified Tao Lele. Regardless of what the internet says, it's good that he has no shame in his heart. White can never become black. Star Yao Entertainment's donations have always been donated directly through China's charity. Every single one of them has stood up to scrutiny, so he's not worried. But do good deeds, don't ask about the future, where the heart is, don't ask about the West. The people present silently recited these words in their hearts, then all looked at Gu Xingyi, their eyes shining brighter and brighter. This is where Gu Xingyi's charm lies. Look at this culture of others. Not only does he write songs that are so cowhide, even when he speaks, it's so soothing. At the same time, the rhythm of the internet is also getting bigger and bigger. Gu Xingyi's silence, but also let the storm more and more intense, quite a kind of starfire, can start a prairie fire trend. Lu Dong. What a good scheme. Just a little bit of water army, can stir up the water. Gu Xingyi must be tired of dealing with it now. The day after tomorrow's China's strongest voice, it's just the right time for us to counterattack. In Lu Gao's office, the company's operation minister was happily patting Lu Gao on the back. This incident was what Lu Gao ordered him to do, not expecting the internet to actually form a crusade against Gu Xingyi now. Who said I'm going to take the opportunity to fight back? If Gu Xingyi could be trapped by this little thing, he wouldn't be Gu Xingyi anymore. Lu Gao's face remained flat, not the slightest bit amused by his subordinate's horse's ass. Not fighting back? Then what are we doing this for? The operations minister was a little embarrassed when his horse's ass was patted on the horse's leg, and he opened his mouth to ask with some doubt. It's just to slightly attract his attention and distract him. As for why, don't ask what you shouldn't know. Lu Gao glanced at him, no fluctuations could be seen in his eyes. Okay, then I'll go back first. You're busy. The operations minister smiled even more awkwardly and hurriedly got up to leave. No one could figure out what exactly Lu Gao was trying to do, including Gu Xingyi, who knew that there must be someone behind this incident. But he couldn't think of what the other party's significance in doing so was. To throw dirty water on himself to distract himself? And then make himself not have the energy to care about what happened on China's strongest voice? If that was the case, then Gu Xingyi could only say that the person who used this trick was simply too stupid. With this matter, it was simply a joke that would make himself not have the energy to create songs. And the very next day after the incident, Star Yao Entertainment came to 3 people that even Gu Xingyi hadn't expected. When the 3 came to the door, Gu Xingyi was not in the company. The receptionist, Li Wengjing, looked at the 3 old men with majestic faces in front of her, and couldn't help but secretly guess who these 3 old men were. At the same time, she was busy standing up, greeting them with, "Hello, may I ask who you 3 are looking for?" "Little girl, we are looking for Gu Xingyi. May I ask if he is in the company?" An old man at the head of the group smiled back, while all 3 of them were sizing up the place. "Looking for Mr. Gu? Please wait a moment, Mr. Gu is not in the company right now. I'll contact him for you." "Then please contact him, little miss. Just say that Lin Guodong is visiting." "Good, then you 3 go into the parlor first and take a rest. Sister Lele, who's here to see General Manager Gu, come on and receive him first." Li Wenjing hurriedly replied. She always felt that these 3 old men in front of her were very unusual, so she was busy informing Tao Lele again to receive them for fear of slowing down the 3. Tao Lele hurriedly came and introduced the 3 old men into the parlor and was served tea. The 3 old men politely said thank you, then one of them looked at the other with a smile and complained. "Shaolin, I've long said that I should have contacted in advance first. How could anyone come over so boldly? Doesn't this want to give him a surprise? Don't all young people like this tune? I also didn't expect this kid to be out of the company at this hour." Just after he finished speaking, another old man immediately picked up the conversation and said, "Oh, are the people who neck into the ground, but also play this set, but, Xiaogu, this company organized is decent, is a little small. Hey, every day to hear you guys praise him, also want to quickly meet the real person, I did not expect, pounced on a blank." The old man finished, and then turned his head to look at Tao Lele who stood on the side of the board and laughed. "Little girl, don't need to be so formal, our 3 old men aren't bad people, right? Haven't introduced myself yet. I'm the president of China Charity Association, Bo Yongji, this is the general director of Huayang Television, Du Gu, and the other is the general director of Huayin, Lin Guodong." Hearing the trio's self-reporting, Tao Lele's entire head was in a daze. Only the words China Charity, Huayang and Huayin were left in her little head. These were all big names that one wouldn't even see on a normal day. Today, they even came to Star Yao Entertainment as companions. Seeing Tao Lele's lack of reaction, Bo Yongji continued. "Isn't there a lot of criticism about Mr. Gu on the internet lately? How come it looks like he's not in too much of a hurry?" As soon as they arrived at Star Yao Entertainment, the 3 old men were satisfied with what they saw in front of them. The entire Star Yao Entertainment didn't seem to have been affected by anything, and everyone went to work with a smile on their face, which made even Bo Yongji a little surprised. If he knew that other companies encountered this kind of thing, for the sake of the company's reputation, the PR team would have long gone down to wash the floor. And he was aware of the property donated by Gu Xingyi. After all, every single one of them was donated through the China Charity. What he donated could be not at all small. After all, it was 30% of a company's revenue, so you can imagine how much it would be. Hearing Bo Yongji's question, Tao Lele finally reacted. Although her mind was still in a daze at the moment, she still quickly said, "Because our Mr. Gu said, but do good deeds, don't ask about the future, where the heart is, don't ask about the West. When we do good deeds that are worth doing, we won't bother about our personal gains and losses, and we don't need to worry about people's comments and dissatisfaction, our own heart is just fine." "Oh?" The 3 old men's eyes lit up at the same time, and Bo Yongji even muttered and repeated the words "but do good deeds, don't ask about your future," then suddenly burst out laughing. "What about do good deeds, don't ask about your future? I'm really looking forward to meeting this young man more and more. Ha ha, old Park. What was my guess? That kid, Xiaogu, won't be in a hurry at all, that's why I like this kid." I agree with Shaolin on this point. Although I haven't seen him, the first impression he gave me was a feeling of being pampered and having a poetic mind. Just at this moment, the door to the parlor was hurriedly opened. Several people turned their heads to look. It was Gu Xingyi who hurriedly arrived. "Elder Lin, I heard you guys praising me so much right outside the door, I was too embarrassed to come in. Who are these 2 old masters?" Gu Xingyi walked inside while smiling awkwardly. He was a bit embarrassed to hear others praising him so much, and most of all, those were the quotes of the bigwigs of the original world, and he was just a porter. This compliments, he himself are dry panic. "Ha, you kid will still be embarrassed? Let me introduce you, this is Dugu, the one you didn't get to meet last time, from the Central China, and this is Park Yongji, also the rightful owner who came to find you this time, from the China Charity." The 3 old men also stood up, and Lin introduced the 2 with a smile. "Elder Du, Elder Park, I'm really sorry to still trouble you guys to come all the way here. Quickly sit down and talk, you guys are torturing me like this." Gu Xingyi busily shook hands with the 3 old masters, and hurriedly asked them to sit down again before he himself sat down on the other side of the end of the table. Talualele had already frozen in place, and in the end, it was only after Gu Xingyi gave her a look that she nervously sat down. There was no way, the most powerful person she had ever seen was Gu Xingyi, and now that she had seen these three old men who had been in high positions for years, it would be strange if she wasn't nervous in her heart. At the same time, in her heart, she admired Gu Xingyi even more. She had always felt that Gu Xingyi was bullish, but she didn't expect him to be so bullish that he was able to talk and laugh in front of these bigwigs. Three old masters, I wonder if there's something important that you've come to find me this time? Only when everyone was seated did Gu Xingyi ask. Other than Lin Guodong, it was the first time that Du Gu and Bo Yongji had seen Gu Xingyi. They carefully sized him up, and the more they looked at him, the happier they became in their hearts. They were all old bones, and they could tell what kind of person he was from his essence. Since you've called us old masters, then I'm not hiding anything. Xiaogua, this time I'm here, I still want to ask for a song. Before you created songs for both Lao Lin and Lao Du, how can you also create a song for this China charity of mine? Originally this China charity recently wanted to come out a publicity program, coincidentally not again see online you this matter, I and two old guys discussed, just right, then find you, famous, songwriting and good, charity to do it in place. I can't think of anyone else but you. Xiaogu, how about it? Are you interested? Bo Yongji looked at Gu Xingyi and said cheerfully. The other two old men, likewise looked over. Looking at the three old men staring at themselves, Gu Xingyi was under a lot of pressure. This is looking for the door, he can say he's not interested. Of course I'm interested. Master Park, when will this promotional program be released? It's expected to go live in the middle of this month. Since you're next in line, Xiaogu, then I'm relieved. And you can also rest assured that I won't let you work for nothing. The current online culture is really due for a change. Anything you dare to say is nonsense. Guiding the masses to attack public opinion can be done, and it's time to crack down on it. Gu Xingyi's attitude makes Bo Yongji happy from the bottom of his heart. No wonder Lin Guodong can often hang this young man on his lips. People are really worth it. Especially Gu Xingyi's heart. Let him appreciate. If it were someone else encountered this file, then I'm afraid that I could not wait to jump out to clarify. After all, who do not want to be the wrongdoer, obviously donate a lot of money, but also to be splashed with dirty water. Dugu on the side, also with a smile on his face, sipped a mouthful of tea and said, yes, nowadays people remember to eat but not remember to fight, although before to rectify a little bit of the entertainment industry, but they still cannot resist the temptation of profit. Will be online messy, it is time to knock knock knock. This time, the promo would still be online at Huayang, while the song would be online at Huayin, which was why the three of them had come together. Originally, when Lin learned of this news, he wanted Gu Xingyi to write the song, but he didn't expect that it coincided with the rise of public opinion on the internet. Nowadays, online, because of the previous rise of some water armies, inducing a lot of uninformed melon eaters, this topic still accounted for the hot searches high. Even Gu Xingyi and Xia Shurya's siege blogs were nearly blown up by the spammers. But most people are in a crazy line with the Jets, no matter whether Xingyou Entertainment has made donations or not, at least in their hearts, Xingyou Entertainment has brought them many, many touches, and that's enough. Gu Xingyi chatted with the three old men again about specific matters and had a lunch together before the three old men went back. They would stay in Jiangqing for a few days this time, and would stay at the Jiangqing TV station until they got the songs and got the publicity program done, then they would return home. In fact, Du Gu and Bo Yongji wanted to meet Gu Xingyi, whom they had not seen, so they would come over to Jiangqing in person. Otherwise, it would be a matter of a phone call. It could only be said that Gu Xingyi's charm was really getting bigger and bigger, and even the two old men wanted to see with their own eyes what kind of person he really was. At this moment, Shengshur Entertainment is unexpectedly honest. After a series of previous blows, even Xiao Feibai took the initiative to tear up the contract. Shengshur Entertainment is a good old boy image, obediently in accordance with the contract agreement, and Xiao Feibai lifted the contract. There is no other reason. Tian Xingqi is really afraid. He has experienced so many big storms and waves. The first time he felt that someone can make him so helpless. In his heart, Gu Xingyi was a very evil person. It seemed like whenever he went against Gu Xingyi, something bad would always happen. Especially when Xingyao anime appeared, the appearance of a movie called One Man Down made Tian Xingqi completely lose his heart. The script for One Man Down was written by Gu Xingyi. This showed that if Gu Xingyi wanted to enter the movie industry, wouldn't it be possible to hang Shengshur Entertainment in minutes? After all, the scripts were connected to each other. Today Gu Xingyi was able to come up with a one-person under that stirred up the entire animation world, so maybe tomorrow he could come up with a two-people under or something that would ignite the movie and television industry. Tian Dong, do you really want to lean towards Xingyou Entertainment? In Tian Xingqi's office, his secretary looked at the documents in her hands, and there was some joy in both her eyes, but she still asked, or else, wait for him to woo me again? And we don't have any big conflicts with him in the first place, there's no need to fight to the death, that's it. Tian Xingqi held up the small gold-framed glasses on the bridge of his nose, and he naturally saw the trace of joy in the bottom of his secretary's eyes. So, even his own secretary felt that leaning on Staryao Entertainment was the right thing to do? He sighed, and could only say that Gu Xingyi, this person, was truly terrifying, and his existence just didn't make sense. Pure and simple, he was a demon present. Regardless of what the outside world thought, Gu Xingyi had already discussed with the three old masters that he would give them a suitable song 3 days later, and for this song, Gu Xingyi had already thought of a suitable one. As soon as he said charity, the first thing he thought of was this old song. After all, in the original world, when he heard this song, he knew that it was time to donate money. The next day, the 5th installment of China's Strongest Voice arrived. In this installment, Gu Xingyi had similarly prepared the songs, but what he didn't expect was that the focus of this installment wasn't even on the ring that Star Yao Entertainment was in. The 3 matches were all small companies on stage, and these 3 small entertainment companies were all small entertainment companies that had recently released their goodwill to Star Yao Entertainment, and this time, they were obviously here to rub off on them, and the songs they sang were all old songs with some rules and regulations. On the side of Star Yao Entertainment, they also naturally returned the goodwill, and did not release any new songs, and the same old songs to deal with it. After all, the hand does not hit the smiling face of the people. They released the goodwill. Star Yao Entertainment will not go to force pressure them. It had to be said here, these companies that had released goodwill to Star Yao Entertainment, their companies were changing a lot, even the contracts of the signed artists were changing to Star Yao Entertainment's contract pattern. Without realizing it, the pattern of the entertainment industry had changed. Once a rule became the default rule for most people, it seemed to go with the flow and be accepted by the masses. Even Shengshi Entertainment had made the change, and the netizens were subconsciously getting used to the changes made by the entertainment industry, so there wasn't a lot of heat on the internet about the change. Of course, there are also some old-fashioned faction, still practicing the previous model of the entertainment industry, but their situation is getting more and more difficult. Because of the impact of the new model, all the artists are not fools when compared to each other. Many of the artists in these companies are starting to jump ship, and the fresh blood is even more difficult to recruit in. So as long as they didn't change, the company's development would only become more and more difficult. And to people's surprise, this time in China's Strongest Voice, Tianmei Entertainment turned around and challenged Soundse Entertainment, and they were well prepared and won all 3 matches. This sudden change had caught no one by surprise, and it had even dumbfounded Soundse Entertainment. After the 5th phase of the competition, apart from Star Yao Entertainment's points which were as stable as a mountain, the points of the once 3 giants were surprisingly neck and neck. Because of this total loss, Soundse Entertainment's points remained at 6 points, while Tianmei Entertainment, the points came to 5 points, and Shengshi Entertainment was also at 6 points. The 3 veteran giant companies, Soundse and Shengshi, only had 1 more point than Tianmei, and it was obvious that Tianmei wouldn't easily give up this competition, which also made the final result confusing. Tianmei Entertainment, this was going to mess things up. At this moment in time, Soundse Entertainment and Shengshi Entertainment couldn't help but be on guard at the same time. This wave of maneuvering by Tianmei Entertainment had caught no one by surprise, and it even made Yang Xian and Tian Xingqi laugh in anger. What? Couldn't beat Gu Xingyi and now started picking on Soundse Entertainment and Shengshi Entertainment? You're really taking the 2 as soft pinches? But then again, the 3 families had similar strengths, so if Tianmei Entertainment did this, it might even be able to turn the tables on him. For example, in this phase of the competition, no one was paying attention, but Tianmei Entertainment took away 3 points. In response, Yang Xian and Tian Xingqi naturally began to make preparations. This also led to the 6th installment of the competition afterward, where the entertainment industry once again ushered in the era of godly fights, only this time, it had nothing to do with Xingyo Entertainment anymore. The points of the 3 old giants were also catching up with each other. The 3 were still only 1 point apart. The situation was very unclear. And the topic about Gu Xingyi on the internet was still entangled in the incident of charitable donations. The online quarrels were getting more and more intense. The heat didn't have the slightest sign of dropping down, but even so, Gu Xingyi never uttered a word, the whole Xingyo Entertainment, as if the collective lost their voices at this moment in time. What no one knew was that Gu Xingyi was going back and forth between the company and the TV station these days. The song about the charity program had been created a few days before, and these days, he was accompanying the 3 old men to review the program. On December 15th, the day after the 6th installment of China's Strongest Voice had just ended, at 8 o'clock in the evening, the official China charity finally released a long post plus a video, and at the same time, Xingyo Entertainment and Gu Xingyi's Siege blog. As soon as this one post was released, it immediately exploded on the internet, and netizens knew that the truth of what they had been discussing for so many days was finally going to surface at this moment. Especially the fans who have been on the line with the spammers for so many days, even more excitedly clicked on the Perimeter blog to see it. When they clicked in, there were all kinds of screenshots and proofs of donations, as well as all kinds of contracts and other information, which gathered all the donations made by Star Yao Entertainment since its creation. Below that, there was a paragraph from the Chinese charity official. Recently saw some online discussions and posts. We are deeply shocked. also deeply saddened. Since the creation of Star Yao Entertainment, so far, the amount of donations has reached the amount of billions of dollars, and these amounts, but also unconditional donations. As we all know, Star Entertainment was created not long ago, the chairman of a company like this, but it is surprising that it will be discussed by people with ulterior motives in such a way. Let the people chilling. And when we went to Starlight Entertainment to ask about their staff, their answer was even more so that we all felt guilty, because after the incident, Mr. Gu Xingyi had said a word with them. But do good deeds. Don't ask about your future. Where the heart is, no questions asked. This is Mr. Gu Xingyi's heart and feelings. For the network suddenly appeared malicious orientation, he did not pay attention to, but only did what he should do. But we can't see such a silent hero buried, and we can't do to see his kindness smeared. So I would like to respectfully remind all netizens that while the internet is free, everyone is responsible for their own words and actions. In addition, we have also grandly invited Mr. Gu Xingyi to compose a song for us for our latest show, and we also hope that this song, will bring some positive senses to everyone. Once this post from the official China charity came out, all the fans wanted to cry at this moment. Their persistence all these days had not been wasted, and their support had not been in vain. Gu Xingyi was worth it. At this moment, all the fans copied the keyboard, shouted a key to come, incarnated into a keyboard warrior. These days of aggression, they all want to vent out at this moment. 30% of the proceeds. Crap. Blackie talk. I told you so. I told you. It's not that people didn't do it. People just didn't say it. Fuck it. Just ask anyone who can give 30% of their proceeds to charity. Can you? Are the blacks mute? Why don't you shout? Dogs. Come back to confront your father again. Where the heart is, no questions asked. See? Don't use your narrow-minded hearts to guess Gu Xingyi. You're not worthy. I just want to know. Which celebrity or company can come up with a donation amount in billions of dollars in such a short period of time? That's how people really do things. Some people, when they donate a few tens of thousands, they want the whole world to know about it. This post made all the netizens and fans go crazy, and also made all the blacks and water armies shut up instantly, and there were even some unscrupulous media and netizens who rubbed the heat hastily deleted the previously posted siege blogs and doo-wop sounds at the first time. But that wasn't all. Right after Huagua Charity spoke out, Hua Yang and Hua Yin once again came down and ate the official website of Gu Xingyi and Xingyao Entertainment. Hua Yang and Hua Yin, as well as Huagua Charity, hand in hand with Gu Xingyi to create the program Love and Tomorrow, is grandly online. I hope that the majority of netizens will support it, and I would like to say this: purify the network. Start with me. Starting today, we will join hands with the relevant departments to carry out a week of special activities to purify the internet. Another official came down to show solidarity, and this activity was because of what know-how. All the people who saw these two roundup blogs of Hua Yang and Hua Yin were once again stunned at this moment. They wiped their eyes, and then the corners of their eyes all began to twitch. Just pro-Sun chant? That's how you protect him? This is not even an act. It's obviously here to protect Gu Xingyi. By the way, there was also the program. At this moment, everyone clicked on the video in the blog, this time the program, Love and Tomorrow. The video just opened with a group of cute children, surrounding Xia Shiyao in a playful manner. The sound of their laughter rang out with the music, and the title of the song appeared at that moment. A Better Tomorrow. Well, not only was the song created by Gu Xingyi, it was also sung by Xia Shiyao, and inside the video, apart from the group of children, there were even many celebrities participating in the show. As the program progressed, Xia Shiyao's sweet singing voice also rang in the ears of netizens. Gently awaken the sleeping heart. Open your eyes slowly. See if the busy world is still spinning alone. The spring breeze doesn't understand the wind, blowing the heart of a teenager. Let the tears on yesterday's face dry with memory. Let the tears on yesterday's face dry up with the memory. Just the moment the song started, the audience was already mesmerized, and sure enough, it's still the same old flavor. In terms of songwriting and singing, you still have to look at Gu Xingyi and Xia Shiyao. In front of the song, yesterday's China's strongest voice was simply instantly killed. In the video, along with the song, some children from poor areas appeared. They welcomed the spring breeze, with innocent smiles on their faces, the sunshine on their faces, which warmed the hearts of those who watched. Even though the clothes they were wearing were worn out, the school that had just been built was their hope. This is the ultimate goal of charity. Not relying on words, only look at the actual action. Some people's love, really buried very deep. The song was still singing. Xia Shiyao was like an angel, in the middle of this group of children, bringing them joy and love. Conforming to the scene in the video, the song played in everyone's heart. MT. Jade, white snow drifts, burning the heart of a teenager, melting true love into notes, pouring out distant blessings. In the Tianmei Entertainment Building, Lu Gao naturally saw the siege blog. He had thought that this kind of thing would be hard to beat Gu Xingyi, but he hadn't thought that it would end up like this. Lu Gao shook his head and just felt more and more tired. This was Gu Xingyi. The more you hit him, the faster he took off. It didn't even require him to go down himself, the various officials were holding him in their hearts for fear of him hurting. This is pure trickery. How does that make him play? No way to play. Do not want to join, can only be away from Gu Xingyi as far away as possible. That sentence how to say? What's that saying? If you can't afford to mess with him, he can't afford to hide from you? Several major officials came down, the incident was instantly resolved perfectly, and also brought a new round of touching to the netizens. The program Love and Tomorrow together with the song Tomorrow Will Be Better is a perfect match, and the innocent eyes of those children in the video longing for the future even made countless netizens feel a little bit of heartache in their hearts. But Xia Shiyao's singing voice, but also let the netizens' heart lit up infinite hope. Gu Xingyi, Xia Shiyao, and those countless people who silently paid in the dark were the idols they should really be fanning. At this moment, all their fans were happy that they could fan such people. Just like the title of the song Xia Shiyao was singing right now, with them. Tomorrow, it will definitely be better. Sing your passion, stretch out your hands, let me embrace your dreams. Let me have your true face. Let our smiles be filled with youthful pride. Offer a devotional prayer for tomorrow. Within the video, Xia Shiyao led a group of children, singing Tomorrow Will Be Better together, their faces filled with the light of hope. Then, the scene changed and the picture came to a disaster area, where Miao Anjuan was rebuilding her home with the people in the disaster area. The place was flooded and people's homes were submerged. But it was the relief vehicles that kept coming from all over the country that gave them hope for the future. On the gate of the disaster area, there is a big line written, after the disaster, everything is rebuilt, like a new life. The camera zoomed in, and along with the music, Miao Anjuan continued to sing immediately after Xia Shiyao's song. Who can disregard his home and leave behind the childhood of his memories? Who can bear to see his yesterday's sorrows take away our smiles? Youth does not understand the red dust rouge stained with ash. Let the tears of the long-lost moisturize your face. The song resounded once again, and this time, it was the group of post-disaster people, smiling and singing until the end of the verse, and the picture shifted once again. This time, it was inside a hospital, and Lu Ruoying appeared. She was inside the hospital, talking and laughing with the patients. These patients, who were being tortured by their illnesses, had smiles rising on their faces. They were unable to support themselves any longer, but the vast number of enthusiastic people let them see the hope of life. Different places, different people, the future and hope, but at this time is the same existence in their side. The camera follows Lu Ruoying as she slowly walks out of the hospital. She closes her eyes and takes a deep breath of the clear air outside, then opens her eyes and opens her hands, seemingly wanting to embrace this warm world. Gently knock the sleeping mind awake. Open your eyes slowly. See if the busy world is still spinning alone. But this time, the lyrics have changed, and unlike the first verse, after so much, the world is still as warm as ever. The world is no longer lonely, and people are no longer at a loss, because there is love, because there is tomorrow. The sunrise awakens the morning. The earth, in its splendor, is reborn. Let the wind sound. Let the sound of the wind be the music of life. The camera pulled away again, and this time, all the people from the previous video were gathered together. Everyone's face was filled with happy smiles. Xia Shiyao, Lu Ruoying, and Miao Anjuan stood in front of the people, and they waved their hands together with the people. The blue sky, the white clouds, the breeze, everything was accompanying them. Sing your passion, stretch out your hands, let me embrace your dreams. Let me have the face of your true heart. Let our smiles be filled with the pride of youth. Let's look forward to a better tomorrow. The girls in the video were still singing, while the viewers online had long been moved to tears. These are tears of joy. Netizens feel the presence of love in the song. Under this microblog of China Charity, countless netizens have also sent their feelings and expectations at this time. I hope tomorrow will be better. Every day is better. Never thought that yesterday's China's Strongest Voice didn't move me, but today this song made me break my defenses. This song sublimated my soul as soon as it played. It's awesome. All three are my goddesses. Loved, loved, loved. Tomorrow will be better. It's the expectation of everyone's heart. At this moment, Gu Xingyi, like all the netizens, was also watching this video. Little Nai Nai was held in his arms, also following her mom on TV, bobbing her head and humming along. This video, Gu Xingyi participated in the entire production, just that even he didn't expect that the effect of broadcasting it would be so good. There was no need to say much about the songs created by Mr. Luo, none of them had anything to say. But this program, after only about half a month of filming, was able to achieve such a good effect, which made Gu Xingyi have to marvel in his heart. In the end, it was an official production, it was really bullish. Xia Shiyao was also silently watching the video on the side. She these days ran to many places, and also witnessed the smiles on the faces of those poor people. This trip was an incomparable precious memory for her. Only the suffering people knew more about the preciousness of this smile. She understands it, and Gu Xingyi understands it too, which is why they find these even more rare and precious. And the video wasn't over yet. The program, with the music of Tomorrow Will Be Better slowly coming to an end, the screen gradually went dark. When the screen lit up again, this time, it was a list of donations, a list of sincere faces. These, all of them, were people who silently gave and silently donated. The countless lists and photos came together to form a map of China. People who eat water do not forget to dig wells. It was also these simple people that made it all better. The scene shifted again. A group of people were holding small red flags, waving them, the small red flag swaying in the wind, and Gu Xingyi was clearly among the crowd. Different music played again, and in the picture, a chorus rang out. As long as everyone gives a little love, the world will become a better earth. At this point, the screen completely darkened, and a line of small words appeared along with the sound of a pounding keyboard. These lines of small words spoke of one incident after another, of the people who had been rescued, their hearts and the changes in their lives. Finally these subtitles slowly faded down, and in the screen, only one sentence remained. Love is tomorrow. And at this moment, in everyone's heart. A Chinese charities blog put to rest an incident that had been raging online for days, and in just one night, the incident was completely reversed. On the blog, it completely became a fans' carnival, no longer see the figure of a black person. But this is not all. After the net activities, but also the official department of the scene, the previous release of false information of some of the netroots and bad media blocked the number, and even many of the water army dens have been seized. The impact of this program also led to a wave of donations online, and many netizens were flirting with the idea that as soon as they heard the song Tomorrow Will Be Better, their hearts couldn't help but think that it was time to do charity. Even the originator, Lu Gao, could not have imagined that the incident would develop into this. He didn't understand what Gu Xingyi was thinking. In just over half a year's time, the amount of donations amounted to hundreds of millions of dollars, and with a single song, the entire network was purified. Tianmei Entertainment once again held a high-level meeting, only this time, everyone's faces didn't look too good. In today's Tianmei Entertainment, there were already many people who had begun to waver. After all, in the entertainment industry now, they had been excluded and belonged to the Maverick One. Even Lu Gao was a little shaken in his heart right now. But he was the one who gave the order to block Xia Shiyao in the first place, and he was also the one who took the initiative to oppress Starry Yao Entertainment. Once he chose to admit defeat at this time, and lean towards Starry Yao Entertainment, the result could be imagined, and the future of Tianmei Entertainment was in trouble. The most unexpected thing for Lu Gao is the transformation of Tian Xingqi of Shengshi Entertainment. The former Tian Xingqi was a profit-oriented person who ate people without spitting out bones, and he was a vicious character. But now, even he bowed his head and compromised. Thinking about this, Lu Gao was so upset that he slapped the table of the conference room. I know what you're all thinking. Be honest, in the recent period, everything will wait until after China's Strongest Voice is over. Lu Gao still wanted to wait and see everything until after China's Strongest Voice ended. If they could win on China's Strongest Voice, then their prestige would still be there, and they could just as well survive as before. After all, in this world, strength has always been honored. 3 days had unknowingly passed since the program was aired. On the afternoon of December 18th, the sky was filled with fluffy light snow. With the winter solstice approaching, the weather in Jiangqing turned steeply colder, and people also put on their fall coats and pants, and put on thick down jackets on the outside. Today, the entire Xingyo Entertainment rare early shift, the people agreed to Shabu Shabu Hot Pot. Xia Shiyao and Tao Lele went back to pick up little Nai Nai went. Gu Xingyi and his party walked downstairs with a great deal of people. Just out of the office building, Gu Xingyi saw Ren Zongyi, who came back from home a little absent-minded. Until he came close and almost collided with himself, he came back to his senses. The returning Ren Yi looked at Gu Xingyi, a little anxious to speak, making Gu Xingyi very curious. Since Ren Yuyao came to the company, he did save a lot of heartache, except that he always felt that Ren Yuyao was loaded with things in his heart. After Gu Xingyi thought about it, he walked up and took the initiative to strike up a conversation. Brother Easy, there's nothing going on today. Why don't you bring Nini out for a meal together? It just so happens that Shiyao and Lele have gone back to pick up Nene. The two little ones still have a companion. After Gu Xingyi finished speaking, he looked at Ren Easy seriously. He saw some struggles on Ren Easy's face, and finally, as if he had made up his mind about something, he raised his head and said, Mr. Gu, can you trouble you to bring little Nai Nai to my house again, Nini Shi? Ren Yi said this. Some can't go on. The heartbroken expression on his face made Gu Xingyi feel a little tugged at his heart. He was busy pulling Ren Yi to one side. His tone was also a little heavier. Brother Easy, what exactly happened to Nini? I know your character. You don't want everyone to know, and you don't want everyone to worry or feel pity. But, no matter what happened, you have to think about Nini. This kind of time is not the time to be strong. Gu Xingyi knew Ren Yi's character. His character was just about to be strong. As a veteran and a father, he didn't want to trouble others. He wanted to carry it alone, which was alright, but sometimes, there are things that can really be carried by one person. Rennie is strong again, he is also just a person, heard Gu Xingyi words, Rennie tightly clenched his fists, even though he tilted his head, tears still flowed down his face. Even the strongest man had a soft spot, and his soft spot was Nini. Mr. Gu, I really can't help it, Nini she has been suffering from a rare neurological disease. This disease and Alzheimer's disease situation is similar, and this disease is even more powerful. Nini her, only 3 days of memory, every 3 days, will lose the previous memory. Ren's voice a little choked, uttered the words as let Gu Xingyi mood completely heavy down. He didn't expect that what happened in Renyi's family was actually this kind of thing. That little girl who looked like a little angel was actually suffering from a disease all the time. Nini was just born not long ago. After the hospital found out about her illness, her mother ran away. These 2 years, I have been running around, but no hospital has the certainty of being able to cure this illness, Nini. And so she has been in a state of constant memory loss. But suddenly one day, Xiao Xingyao appeared. She sang about courageous outbursts. Only once she appeared, Nini fell in love with this sister. Magically, no matter how many times she had lost her memory, whenever she saw Xiao Xingyao, she would always be the first to fall in love with her again. Just before, she lost her memory again, but when she saw Xiao Xingyao on her cell phone again, she said something that made me tear up. She said, this sister Nini likes so much and is so familiar. After that, she pestered me to see little Xingyao. She even wanted to eat cake with her sister. She said she remembered that the cake was sweet. As Ren said that, he was already in tears. Perhaps it was Nini's words that made him break his defenses. Perhaps he saw hope in this. Nini still remembered Nai. Gu Xingyi heard this, also a little wanna cry impulse, but he more wanna give Ren Yu a punch. He know Ren Yu so many years by himself, one person with the child must be very hard, must be even more suffered countless white eyes. But this was not even a reason for him to do so. When he thought of it, he did it. Gu Xingyi gave him a hard punch, which made Ren Yu stagger a bit, and also made the people of Xingyao Entertainment, who were still waiting not far away, look over with worry. It was only after a punch that Gu Xingyi asked in a deep voice, why did you drag it out until now? Do you deserve to be a father? Can you stand up to Nini? Or is it for your pathetic pride? What made Gu Xingyi the most angry was this. He could understand that he didn't want to trouble others, but he couldn't understand what was in his heart. In Gu Xingyi's opinion, he could do anything for his daughter. Ren Yuyao rubbed the place where he was hit, lowered his head, half a day before he suddenly said, I'm not doing it for self-respect. I was afraid I'm afraid that the heavens gave me some hope and then finally made me despair. Voice hoarse, this is the deepest helplessness and sorrow of a father's heart. Because of fear, he wanted to escape. Gu Xingyi could understand Ren Yuyao's feelings. But reality can't be like this. Is it okay to not face it because you're afraid? The consequence of escaping was to drag on, and the result of dragging on would only get worse. Nini, what did the hospital say about this disease? Is there no hope for a cure? Gu Xingyi didn't bother to dwell on the problems on Ren Yuan's body, but asked directly. Things were already like this, it was useless to dwell on it. One could only face it with the greatest effort, regardless of the outcome. Neurological conditions are difficult to treat, the doctor said. This disease needs continuous conservative treatment plus daily guidance to work, and to recover, can only expect a miracle. That means there is still hope, and a miracle is also hope. Ran Yuyo had just finished speaking when he heard Gu Xingyi say directly. He froze for a moment and looked up at Gu Xingyi. He wished for his daughter to be better than anyone else, but he was also more afraid than anyone else that it would end up badly. But now, he saw this man in front of him. His face was unprecedentedly serious, as if he firmly believed that a miracle would always appear. This makes Ren Yi's heart are completely infected. He at the moment feels that his heart is also full of hope like never before. So, this was the charm of Gu Xingyi. Xia Shiyao and Taluolele had also picked up little Nai back at this time. As soon as they got off the car, they saw the somewhat awkward atmosphere at the scene. Xia Shiyao looked over to Gu Xingyi's place with some confusion, and when she saw the heavy expressions on the faces of the two people over here, her pair of almond eyes were filled with worry. Dad! Hug! Still little Nai's tender voice broke the heaviness. She climbed down from Xia Shiyao's body, stepped on her short legs, rushed to Gu Xingyi's side, and tilted up her little face. The sweet smile on her face cured both Gu Xingyi and Ren Yuyao's mood quite a bit. Hey! Daddy hug! Nai! Let's go and play with Nene's sister first today, okay? Gu Xingyi squatted down to pick up his baby girl, scratched her little nose, and asked with a face full of favor. Yeah, Nai also wants to play with Nene's sister. Good. Brother easy, then let's go over there now. Gu Xingyi rubbed little Nai's head and hugged her as she said to Ren Yuani, before walking over to the crowd and saying something. Although the others didn't know exactly what was going on, they also knew that Gu Xingyi had something to do and nodded their heads. Just like that, Gu Xingyi's family of 3 followed Ren Yuyo as he drove towards his home, and in the car, Xia Shiyao likewise knew about Nini's matter, which made her heart a little sad all of a sudden as well. I never thought that the little girl with the lovely face would suffer from such a rare disease, just like a little angel that fell to earth, making people's hearts sad. The car quickly arrived at Ren's residence. Pushing open the door, it was a small room that was only less than 50 square feet. Nini was sitting peacefully on the sofa, watching the TV, and on the TV, a video of little Nai singing Courageous Outburst was playing. Hearing the sound, Nene turned her head, and sweetly smiled and called out to her dad when she saw Renii. She would forget every time she lost her memory, but every time, she would quickly accept Renii. When Gu Xingyi led little Nai also walked through the door, Nini was first scared and hid behind Ren Yuyao, but when she saw little Nai, her eyes steeply lighted up. The two little angels looked at each other and smiled, and right at this moment, Nene made an action that made everyone unexpected. Only to see that she suddenly scattered her small hands that were hugging Renrun, and quickly ran back inside the small room. When she came out again, she was already holding a small cake in her hand, and with an expectant face, she walked over to little Nene and handed over the cake in her hand, and a soft and sticky voice came from her mouth. "Please eat the cake, it's very sweet." These words were what Nai had said to her when she first met her. But even after forgetting all that, when she saw Nai again, her first words were, surprisingly, to invite Nai back to eat cake. Perhaps, in her subconscious mind, she still remembered that she wanted to make this young lady, her favorite, eat such a sweet cake. At this moment, Renichio skimmed her face, her eyes already a little moist. Gu Xingyi and Xia Shiyao even felt as if their hearts were suddenly clenched tightly, their hearts incomparably sour. Little Nai's face overflowed with a happy smile. The little one still didn't understand what had happened, but seeing Nini handing over the cake, her big eyes had curved into a crescent moon. "Thank you Nini-san, let's eat together." Seeing little Nene gladly accept the cake and take her hand, Nene's eyes also curved up. The two little ones, once again, became good friends, and held hands as they walked over to the small sofa and sat down, and on the TV, the song Courageous Outburst, sung by little Nene, was still playing. Nai ate a mouthful of cake, and then affectionately fed Nini a mouthful. The room was immediately filled with the sounds of laughter from the two little ones. "Brother Easy, I don't know if Nene remembers Nene, but I know that no matter how many times it happens, she'll fall in love with Nene again, just as she's been quick to accept you every time, and that's the hope." At least in her subconscious, there should be fragments of memories. Gu Xingyi looked at the two little ones playing together in front of the sofa and said seriously. Ran Yuyao also looked at them, then nodded without saying anything. In front of the sofa, little Nai had already stood up on the sofa and was teaching Nini to sing Courageous Outburst, and she taught it just as Gu Xingyi had taught her back then, one sentence at a time with all her heart. "A seed is planted in the heart de la di de la. It can fulfill little wishes with magic. Nini, on the other hand, clapped her hands cheerfully on one side, shaking her head and accompanying little Nai. Not a moment later, little Nai and Nini both were able to sing together, although Nini's singing was still a bit stumbling, but every time little Nai patiently waited for her to join in, just like a little teacher in general. "Brother Easy, I think we'll take Nini to the hospital again tomorrow for a checkup, no matter how much it costs, as long as there's a glimmer of hope. We have to keep treating her. In addition, as long as there's time, let Nini play with Nai. Nai doesn't have any playmates, and Nini needs Nai as well." Looking at the two little ones being so naturally close, Gu Xingyi took the initiative to say again. Ren opened his mouth. It was somewhat difficult to speak. In fact, a big reason why Nene had been doing conservative treatment was all because the cost of the treatment had exhausted him. And the continuous treatment, the corresponding is even more sky-high treatment cost. For ordinary families, this was simply an unattainable expense. "Brother Easy, Nai and I are very close. I've never even seen Nai like a little kid so much as she does now. If it's possible, we would like to recognize Nai as our goddaughter." Xia Shiyao also said at this time. She liked Nini very much. Little Nai also liked Nini very much. Moreover, when she saw Renyi's expression in this environment he was living in, she knew what he was thinking. If she and Gu Xingyi didn't say this, a person of Renyi's character would definitely not take the initiative to seek help either. Hearing Gu Xingyi and Xia Shiyao's words, Ran Yuyao looked towards the happy Nini on the sofa and finally nodded. For so many years, he had been living in self-blame and guilt. He hated the heavens for treating Nini like this, and also hated his own incompetence for not being able to take better care of Nini. But the appearance of little Nene, and then after meeting Gu Xingyi and Xia Shiyao, finally let him see hope for the future. Time flashed by, the end of December. Although the final installment of China's Strongest Voice had ended, netizens were all still talking about the competition. The reason for this was because the final installment of the competition, Sound Sea Entertainment's comeback, was quite spectacular. How could Lu Gao not expect that his plan would be easily dissolved by Sound Sea Entertainment, and he also didn't expect that Gu Xingyi, that despicable villain, would create 2 songs for Sound Sea Entertainment before the last phase of the competition without saying a word. It was the appearance of these 2 songs that allowed Sound Sea Entertainment to complete its comeback. Originally, Lu Gao had already turned back Lena, a first-rate singer of Sound Sea Entertainment, at a high price, so that she would intentionally lose in the last phase of the competition, but as a result, Lena lost, but the veteran Heavenly Kings of Sound Sea Entertainment, as well as Changdi, came out strong with Gu Xingyi's songs. A 10 years, a rainbow smile, a classic lyrical love song, a small sweet song full of youthfulness, directly Lu Gao's plan to kill all over the ground. These two songs, moreover, caused a wave of revelry on the internet once again. Strength is hard truth. Only now did Lu Gao truly understand the meaning of this sentence. Winter went to spring, and then into the height of summer, until the sky once again drifted with light snow, before seasons turned around, and time flashed by like a white horse. A year can change a lot, and the landscape of the entertainment industry has changed drastically. Nowadays, the dynamics of the entertainment circle had obviously become one super and many strong. All the entertainment companies had changed their treatment and contractual issues, and everything they did was being benchmarked towards Star Yao Entertainment. As for Tianmei Entertainment, after China's strongest voice, it slowly retreated from the stage of history, gradually disappearing from the public, for no other reason. Even if Xingyou Entertainment didn't intentionally ostracize it, it still couldn't resist the direction of the general trend. And the wall fell down. Tianmei Entertainment once backstabbed those entertainment companies, have begun to suppress him. Even Shangshi Entertainment have inserted a foot. This once giant company, so slowly shrinking, and Lu Gao, no longer when the spirit of the wind, only half a year, he was like 10 years old, and finally even moved abroad, no longer fight. When he left, he stood in front of the office that huge floor-to-ceiling windows, looking in the direction of Jiangcheng, stood for a long time. Perhaps his heart, there is so a trace of unwillingness and regret, at first just to not pay attention, became now this appearance. It can only be said that the king has been defeated, always so. During this year, Star Yao Entertainment is growing day by day. The new generation of singers is endless, but also every once in a while, there must be a few gold songs, which is represented by the bubble, red high heels and so on. The Star Yao Animation, as in a person under after the end, launched an inspirational national cartoon That Rabbit. The theme song is used when the one chasing the dream Red Heart, That Rabbit was released, a time to see all the netizens cried, and even the Chinese Daily News have named the performance of the cartoon. In addition, Star Yao Film and Television was also formally established, and cooperated with Shangshi Entertainment to shoot a TV series that took the whole country by storm. The reason why they cooperated with Shangshi Entertainment was because Tian Xingqi's posture was really put very low. Moreover, a healthy entertainment industry lies in diversification, and Gu Xingyao certainly won't do that kind of thing where one family is dominant. What's even more pleasing is that Nini, in this year of continuous treatment, suddenly one day, she should have lost her memory. When she woke up in the morning and saw Rennie Wang, she took the initiative to call out to her father. Rennie Wu was completely stunned at that time, a big man, but how could he not stop the tears from falling down? He only dreamed of such a scene when he was dreaming, and it was also the scene that he had been looking forward to day and night for several years. And now, a miracle has finally come. It was November 28th of another year. Today was a special day, everyone knew it, and everyone was waiting for it, and early in the morning, the internet exploded. Finally! It's that time of year again when little Princess Xingyao's birthday comes around. I didn't make it last year. This year, I will be there. 1 year. 1 whole year. I look forward to today every day. Star Yao baby's birthday plus the concert of all the singers from Star Yao Entertainment. Who could miss this? Shit. My wife locked me up at home to take care of the elderly. She ran off with the baby herself. Family members, can you even have a wife like that? Me too. Really can't get away. I'm going crazy. Upstairs, look where I am, live photos, no need to be envious. I'll send you a video afterward. Shit. Don't crowd me. This scene. The people are in too much. I'm not showing off. It's really many. The netizens who had already arrived at the largest stadium in Jiangcheng, all of them were smiling and laughing, and they recklessly posted photos of the scene to the Weibo, and every Weibo could usher in a burst of wolf howls. Obviously the birthday party and the concert both started at night. This early in the morning, the entrance of the stadium was surrounded by crowds, and what's more, even the surrounding streets were full of people. The security of the scene has begun to control, for those who do not comply with the rules of the road, as well as noisy, were properly managed. Not long, people began to become orderly. What was even more outrageous was that there were still countless people on their way here. Obviously Gu Xingyi had stopped registering after 100,000 people had signed up for this feast, but the number of people who had come here had far exceeded the number of people scheduled. Forced to do so, the Jiangcheng authorities could only contact Gu Xingyi, and in the end had to use screencasting and sound amplification equipment near the stadium to take care of those who hadn't been able to get into the stadium. Online official live broadcasting room, and various cooperation platform live broadcasting room. The number of people has also long been full. Even many TV stations, all live broadcast the spectacle. Time passed minute by minute, until 8 o'clock in the evening. This different concert finally began. In the crowd's expectant gazes, on the stage of the Jiangcheng Arena, Xia Shiyao in a long azure dress and Gu Xingyi in a black formal dress were the first to appear. At this moment, all the cameras in the arena focused on the two of them, and no matter whether it was inside or outside the arena, a tsunami of cheers erupted at this moment. Sure enough, Gu Xingyi, this cub seed never play false, the opening is the king bomb. On the big screen at the back, the name of the song they were going to sing also appeared. This was the second time Gu Xingyi sang on the same stage with Xia Shiyao, and also the second time he officially appeared in front of the audience on the stage. Welcome to this concert, and thank you for supporting us this year, a song Under the Sea for everyone. Gu Xingyi gently picked up the microphone, his voice was not loud, but it spread throughout the entire country of China at this moment. Xia Shiyao also then held up the microphone and sang softly. Scattered moonlight through the clouds. The music sounded, the song started, a song called Under the Sea, spread into the ears of all the audience. Gu Xingyi and Xia Shiyao both sang this version, somewhat like the original World Phoenix Legend sang. The feeling brought to people is, why do you think people are not worth it? All the audience was mesmerized. Since the emergence of Gu Xingyi, the entertainment industry was recognized by everyone, even such a muddy entertainment industry could be cured. So what on earth is not worth it? After the song, before everyone could react, Xia Shiyao and Gu Xingyi had smiles on their faces and bowed deeply. Then Xia Shiyao held the microphone with both hands and spoke. Thank you all for coming here, thank you all for supporting Xingyo Entertainment, and thank you all for liking us as a family. After thanking them, the lights dimmed to the sound of the audience chanting their names before the two exited the stage. After that, everyone from Starryao Entertainment, one by one, went on stage with their hit songs, Heavenly King Lu, Lu Ruing, Fengyi Yarong, and everyone else, all of them dedicated one of their best songs to the audience. Until all the singers from Starryao Entertainment finished singing, Gu Xingyi and Xia Shiyao once again went on stage, only this time, in the middle of the two of them, there was an extra little fairy with curved almond eyes. As soon as this family of three appeared, everyone immediately felt that they had no regrets tonight, and they even shouted Little Nai Nai's name in unison from below. Xingyao! Xingyao! Inside the arena, outside the arena, hundreds of thousands of people simultaneously shouted a person's name. What kind of effect was that? It could only be described with one word. The sound shook the 9 heavens. You look so pretty when you smile. Like a spring flower. It blows away all your worries and all your sorrows. This family of three ended up giving the audience a sweet, sweet rendition of You Look Good When You Smile. Especially when Nana sang the middle part of the song, all the audience stood up with ant-like smiles on their faces, waving the glow sticks in their hands to accompany her. Until the end of the song, the audience under the stage was still giggling, Gu Xingyi and Xia Shiyao, as well as Little Nai Nai, as they waved their hands down to the stage, their smiles abounding. To be recognized by you, to be liked by you, we are really happy and touched. Today is Little Xingyao's birthday, and I know that many of you have come for this, so next, I announce. It's time for cake. All the people who have come here today, all have a share. Gu Xingyi picked up the microphone and said loudly. There was another burst of cheers from the stage that resounded through the entire arena, and the glow sticks in their hands were waving into a rainbow, and there were even many audience members who were shouting, we must eat poor Gu Xingyi today. Right. Let him make so much money. Eat him to tears. Next, countless staff members held cupcakes in their hands with smiles on their faces as they began to distribute them one by one, and at this moment, even all the viewers in front of the television and the live broadcast room took out their long-prepared cakes. Then, I don't know who took the lead and shouted, and in the next second, everyone chanted in unison. Xingyao baby, happy birthday. End of book. Author's note, originally, I had prepared many plots for this book, but it's just a pity that I really don't have enough ability for the time being, and I have limited penmanship, so I really don't know how to go about writing next when I write here. Instead of imperfectly watered down, why don't we just draw a perfect conclusion for everyone right here? Also, I really appreciate the readers who have followed me all the way down. You gave me the courage to write this, and you made me stick to it for so long. I can only say here, I'm sorry everyone, if there is a next novel, I will write seriously, at least save 100,000 200,000 stock before sending the book, not to sometimes cannot keep up with the update. At the end of this, I would like to say, in fact, this ending is also quite good, all very happy, we can also celebrate the new year. I'm a newbie author, I definitely want to work hard to arrange every character, every plot well, no matter what, the ending to this, at least Gu Xingyi redeemed Xia Shiyao and Xiao Nai Nai. There's also some name issues. My understanding is actually that Gu Xingyi and Xia Shiyao are orphans, they have no father or mother, so Little Nai Nai was named Gu Xingyao for that reason as well. They don't even have parents, so what's the generation issue? Also using this name to satirize those who were born without parents. And then, thank you guys again, love you, mwahaha.